Validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Oh my God, hold on a second. Look. I done threw some stuff up there and I had to adjust the stuff. My apologies. Welcome to This and That again, y'all. I am your host, Xander, where we're talking about this and that and everything in between. No editing on the live show. Tonight is our Sunday night. This is supposed to be our members only, where we got those wild questions and comments from the fans. So we're going to be hearing a lot of different stuff from a lot of different places and a lot of different people. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Let's get this link in the comment section. For those of you that want to come in and put your 2 cents in, you can always throw your comments into the comment section, but you can always click that link, approve the mic, approve the camera, bring your cell phone in real time. Look at this, y'all. Look at this guy. Headphone issues and everything today. In addition to that, we're live 7 nights a week. Tomorrow's show, we're going to be talking about a plethora of things because we're going to be dealing with the merger that the U.S. made with Canada. Not really a merger, but we're going to talk some details about that. We're going to be talking about that rumor about Doge and the Donald Trump producing stimulus checks to the folks off of the money that's been recovered from Doge. We're going to be talking about a lot of things on Monday. Everything from the IRS taxing the rich to everything. We're going to be talking about everything on Monday. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff on Monday. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. The show is already scheduled for tomorrow. So if you go into the channel and click that notification button, hit that little bell, it'll remind you when we go live, because we start 7 nights a week around about 10:30 Central Time, which is 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, about 7:30 California time. And if you are on Green Minutes time, or if you are on Universal Standard Time, that is 4:30 a.m. for you. Either way, we are live 7 nights a week. You can't miss us. Shortly after we're supposed to air, if we haven't already aired, we start to air. So you'll see us at some point. We never let the sun rise, but without doing a show. So if you think that you missed a show, go back and check in the channel, and it'll show you the most recent show that just aired or is about to air same day. You're never going to miss out on information. We do have some knowledge about California. They have reduced the fire down to a it's not completely out, but it's contained. It's monitored wherever it's burning at right now. It's not in the highly populated areas, but they've had like 386 fires in 2025 already in California. So California's always on fire, apparently. But we're going to be talking about that, all the devastation that happened, the quantity of people that lost their lives, and we're probably going to tiptoe into how that damage has affected real estate in California, and how that affects us real estate globally. For those of us that are investing into real estate in California, those of us that are moving back and forth from other countries and looking to invest in places like California, we're probably going to be trying to squeeze that all into the hour on Monday. Well, it's not necessarily an hour, it's at least an hour. So just stay tuned for that. But we are going to be doing a lot of stuff. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about some money making opportunities. We haven't got that one set up yet, but we're going to be doing it. Wednesday, we're looking at talking about Thailand. I know that we're supposed to be talking about New Zealand and a couple of other places in the upcoming weeks. And then we have the rest of the week, we're going to be talking about all of the other knowledge and social interactions and other such topics that we talk about, because here on This and That, we talk about this, that, and everything in between. So, there's a wide plethora of stuff that we do, but we try to make sure that we come informed. I'm not just going to sit here and off the cuff with random shenanigans. I literally put forth time and effort into the research behind the knowledge that I provide to you guys. So just note that I took some time to get y'all these facts. You feel me? But anybody who wants to dispute those facts, just like the person who brought us a contradiction on Monday, and I accepted that challenge and aired the show yesterday and proved to him that he was incorrect as well. I provide a lot. You don't have to believe me. I tell you guys all the time that if you don't believe what I got to tell you, you can always ask the Google lady. I tell you that all the time. Make sure that you go ahead and do your own research and corroborate my statements, and you'll come to find that pretty much everything that comes off of this channel is supported by facts. Now, special shout out to Red Void, Omni81, Twitch and Twitter. You guys are showing us some love today. I appreciate that. We are going to hit this audio file real quick, because today we're supposed to be dealing with the questions and comments from the fans. We're going to be reactions to a lot of the questions and comments from the fans, and I want to see what you guys think about what we're seeing in the comment section. So I've taken a lot of comments, taking them from text-based, turning them into audio files, and I'm putting them down, and I want to see what you guys got to say about it as I talk about what I'm experiencing with it, because I come from a completely different perspective. So this is a open mic, open-minded, open forum discussion, so you guys can come in and say what you got to say. Just make sure you keep it appropriate. If you want to do some special shout outs to some friends, family members, rep your countries, whatever the such, by all means, go ahead and do what you do. Mr. Satellite, you said you were going to be here to see what was going on. I wanted to make sure that before I started the first one that I'm going to tag it and I'm going to see what the shenanigans are going to be. I wanted to make sure that you're here before I started the play button, because we're going to have some comments. We're going to have some conversation here. We're going to listen to some stuff that makes sense, but we're going to be hearing some stuff that makes absolutely no sense, and we're going to make sense out of it. So glad that you're here. Now I can get the ball rolling. We stick to, because I'm a man of my word. I also brought those facts up because it one more time, because I got to rub it in just a little bit. It's not 34% of women in family law. It's 34% of women across the country in law. And the truth of the matter is that the more often than not, you're going to see more the disproportionate between family law with women and male judges. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the female judges are a little bit more neutral in their rulings than male judges, but they do allow a lot more things bad to happen before they actually make a decision. And the demoralizing fact is that the every man for himself, and when you're the only man in a room full of women and nobody's agreeing with you, it's hard to fight for custody as a father. So that's what we was talking about yesterday. I just wanted to throw that aha out there, because the person that threw those facts on the table and swore up and down that they knew what they were talking about, it's like, no, you don't. Because I've been covering single fathers coming after their kids and not being successful in the United States, and all the lawsuits that's been coming about, especially in Florida, in 2023 and 2024. And here we are in 2025, and you wanted to tag in on that topic. It's like, yeah, I've been talking about this for over a year, buddy. You can't you can't tag in on the topic and make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about now. I've been doing it too long. I've been covering the story since it became a story, bro. You just heard about it when you came to my podcast. So I love this. Now, Mr. Satellite said, I hit my finger on my metal bed and it's bleeding, but now it's not. Well, why do you have a metal bed that is sharp? Why do you have a metal bed? Truth be told, old school was metal beds. These days, the beds are made of either wood or plastic. Now, the plastic beds from Sleep Number hold up to 450 pounds. And if you had a plastic bed, you don't have to worry about bed bugs, because bed bugs store themselves in the cracks of the wood. You don't have to deal with that with plastic. You don't have to deal with like rats and other stuff nestling into your bed, because it's a plastic bed. You don't have to deal with termites and all these other things. Not necessarily saying that you wouldn't have to deal with bed bugs, but if you had an air mattress style scenario, you're less likely to have bed bugs, because the bed bugs would nestle into the material of the normal material, like not so much the foam mattress, but yeah, they could nestle into the little cracks of the foam mattress as well. And they really only come out and feed off your dead skin. So while it irritates the bejesus out of you, it doesn't actually kill you. It just annoys the crap out of you, because you feel a lot of biting and itching and scratching and other such, from what I hear. And it's just not a good look. But I can see that if you have a sharp bed frame and you kind of like run your hand across it, that you could, or if you were like punching it because it was in your way, anger management. But let's go ahead and spin this real quick. I want to see what's going on with these comments. Now, when I throw these things into an audio file, it's not always in my favor. So give me a couple seconds. And if this audio file ain't playing the way it's going to play, I got the backup audio file. So you guys are going to hear what I hear at the same time. Well, not at the same time. There's going to be a bit of a lag. So let's see if it works out for me this time.
I've been told attitude is more important than looks. What do you think?
Okay, so I heard it and you didn't hear it. So let's do it again.
How important is confidence compared to appearance? Does confidence show through in pictures? I've been told attitude is more important than looks.
All right. So I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth now, because now I got to make sure that I hear yours and you hear mine. Okay, so this man asked about confidence in photos. The confidence in photos are a little bit strange, because if you don't have, how about you bless us with a quick 360? There you go with that again, Jesse. Okay, Jesse, good to see you again. We can ask the dudes that, but let's not ask the ladies that. But check me out. So the first comment was asking about confidence in the photo. Is confidence versus look a thing? Well, your posture is going to be displaying your confidence level. So if you're not very confident about yourselves, you're not going to stand up straight. You're not going to be like chest out, head up high. You're not going to give off areas of confidence. I know a lot of people wonder, what does confidence look like naturally? And you have to believe that you are somebody, and then stand there as such in your photo. Being uncertain or insecure, you're kind of like meddling with your hands, like you don't really know what to do. You kind of look awkward. That's gonna project itself even further in a photo, because people are going to look at that photo and they're not going to know um what's going through your mind. They're going to assume based on how you position yourself in the photo. So positioning yourself in the photo with confidence does play a little bit of a tail, but also another thing that would play a tail is the style of dress that you select. So as you guys notice, that I come in with a different suit every day of the week, and they're typically all blend in with my ties. This one, blue, orange, purple tie, 3 different colors of blue on this one. Threw on a orange blazer, and I have a bluish purplish shirt on, and it all just kind of meshes together in this particular outfit. Probably not the kind of thing that I would wear to a Walmart, but because I mean, I'm over here in the podcast, I'm always doing something different. I took the challenge out to the fans this time last year, with dressing with self-respect and self-dignity, and I guaranteed the fans that I'd wear a new suit every day, or a different suit every day. And for the last year and some change, I have always come on with a different suit every day of the week, showing that it is possible to do so. It's just that not a lot of people even own a suit, much less choose to wear one on a regular basis. Jesse says, real question, how would you improve the sound of your voice? I want to make my voice sharper. Now, that's a good question, Jesse. If you're trying to make your voice project more, you would have to elevate your head a little bit more and then use your diaphragm more, and that would project your voice. But the downside that we have to deal with as men, that women do not necessarily have to deal with, is that in order for you to get that raspy bass voice, you have to talk lower. You have to find a library voice. You have to find your I'm in detention for the 5th time and I don't want to get suspended voice. You want to find that I'm going to talk during the exam, but I don't want to get caught voice. And then, you add a little bit of bass to that. That's going to give you that deep masculine voice that women expect to hear from men, that they find somewhat attractive. Now, if you try to make your voice more clear, all you have to do is, again, you're coming from the diaphragm. You're going to kind of lift your head up a little bit more so that your vocal cords are able to project that sound. And you're going to try to talk as if you're talking to the other side of the room, even if you're talking to the person here. And that is going to elevate your voice. Now, as you elevate your voice, you're not going to have that bass. You're going to go up to like a tenor or a soprano, something like that. And that elevation is going to have your voice a lot louder than what it was when you're dealing with the regular conversation that you have. So you have you'll notice, especially when you're shifting over in your teenage years, from the high pitched voice that you had as a kid to the bass that you start generating as a young man, you'll start noticing that when you roll out of bed, your voice is deeper than what it is when you become more talkative throughout the day. You'll find that your voice starts getting higher, and then you realize, man, I can't get that bass back. The level of excitement that you have in the conversation, just like when you're yelling. But if you're talking loud, there's a difference between yelling and talking loud, really. When you're yelling at somebody, you have this anger and frustration in your tone. When you're talking loud, you are just projecting to someone else a concern or a comment. The same way if we were trying to get our homeboys' attention on the other side of a crowd, the same way we're trying to flag down a cab or a bus, that ability to project your voice, that's where you get that higher level of sharpness. But if you notice, when you're trying to talk to your homeboy and there's like 5 or 10 people between you and him, you notice that you naturally lift your head up like this, and then you kind of like talk over the crowd. That position gives you the ability to project your voice a lot further. It gives you a little bit more sharpness. But at the same time, though, if you have that posture, that proper posture, shoulders back, your head is supposed to be like back this way. It's not supposed to be all the way over this way hanging. You're not supposed to be slouching like this. That's how you get a hump in your back before you're older. You're supposed to have your shoulders back, your chest up, posture straight, military stance, almost like at ease kind of military stance, which gives you less back pain, men and women, especially women with big chests. If you had your shoulders back and your head back, your spine's got more support. You have less pull on the middle of your back between your cervical and thoracic, and that gives you the ability, if you hold your head up just a little bit more, to project over the crowd and everybody can hear what you got to say. Now, when it comes down to being discreet, what would have to, we don't practice this, but we probably should. You notice how in the mobster movies and in the crime movies that the major crime boss of the movie or the story has some person come over and whisper into their ear. Come to find out that not only is that more appropriate and more respectful, because if you don't want everybody else to know about it and you're not able to maintain control of the room where only the people in the room that you want to know about this information knows about it, you're able to provide information to somebody by just going over and whispering into their ear. Now, we as Americans are not comfortable with that. In the crime world, there's a higher level of confidence to be like this close to somebody and they're telling you what you need to know in your ear, where nobody else can hear it, but you're in a room full of people. And for some reason that actually gives off a higher level of respect from the people in the room inadvertently, because one, they don't know what was just said, and two, you didn't break eye contact with the people that were not talking to you as you listened to the person that was talking to you. Three, ladies, if you were with your man and you had something that you wanted to tell him when you guys were not in an open conversation, but you just wanted to kind of tip him off, being able to walk up behind him, stand over his shoulder, and just kind of whisper it into his ear instead of shouting it across the room, more appropriate. Leading up to, guys, when you're disappointed in somebody, you're frustrated or mad at somebody, when it's just the two of y'all in the room by yourselves, yeah, y'all can go back and forth like children. But if you're in a public place, if you've got extra ears in the room, even if you're not in a public place, and you're not satisfied with somebody's behavior, the ability to walk up to that person and lean over and just whisper into their ear the lack of satisfaction that you have with them, something to the magnitude of, you're going to deal with this later, or, I'm very disappointed in you, we'll talk about this later, something like that. And that is all you have to do, instead of embarrassing yourself and embarrassing your friend, embarrassing your partner, embarrassing your romantic partner, your family member. Instead of embarrassing yourself and them in front of somebody else because you are acting irate because of their behavior, the fact is that you would be able to keenly express your dissatisfaction by going over and whispering something to that person in their ear. Now, likewise, when you're dealing with coworkers, colleagues, and disrespectful behavior on the service floor, instead of making a scene in front of the customers and cursing each other out and everything to that effect, same thing applies. You calmly now, because if you come over there aggressively, they're going to be defensive and you guys would probably end up fighting, but calmly walk over to the person and you kind of just lean over and you let them know that this isn't the time for this, but we'll talk about this later. And then you walk away from them. And when you guys catch that break, you catch them in the back room, you let them know what's up. When you guys catch each other on a smoke break outside in the back parking lot, you let them know what's up. And that is how you are able to actually not only project more of a presence in the room, but also when your voice is released, it is released with confidence. Now, another thing is your ability to project your voice is going to come from your lack of fear of how this is going to sound versus how people are going to receive it. You know that you've done a good job projecting your voice if you can hear yourself echo off of the walls, if you're trying to project your voice. However, you also know that you're talking too loud if you can talk and then you hear your voice repeated like bouncing off the walls as an echo, then you're talking too loud. You should not be talking loud enough for the people not in this room to hear what you're saying. And if you can hear the echo of what you're saying in this room, then the people outside of this room can also hear what you're saying. Likewise, if you're in a conversation where the people around you may not react, but they can still hear what you're saying, you are not supposed to talk about any sensitive information because you don't want other people to know what's going on in your business. If you've got to talk money, you want to talk money in the VIP room, you want to talk money in the car, you want to check the car for bugs before you talk money in the car. I wouldn't say talk money on the phone because the phones are tapped, Big Brother style. Unless you got a sat phone and your homeboy got a sat phone too, you can spend extra money for one of those encrypted cell phones. But unless you got something like that going on with an end-to-end encryption and the phone is registered to a company that they got to get a warrant to wiretap the company, and they can't get a warrant to wiretap the company until they can prove that the company is involved in the crime, then they can't wiretap your phone as quickly unless they break into your house and wiretap your, which another conversational piece, guys. If you're having confidential conversations, you probably don't want to do it inside of your house. Especially for most of y'all that got Alexa, Siri, all this other shit. You probably you want to take private and when I talk about private conversations, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The kind of conversations that you don't want the feds to know about. You don't want to have that conversation in your house. You don't want to have a conversation in your house. You don't want to have that conversation in the same place every time. You want to have that conversation in a park, on a park bench where you two are the only two people standing there within like 50 miles, not 50 miles, 50 feet. You know, you want to do it in a very open area where there's no one there, because I know that not a lot of people think about this because most of us are more sheltered with crime. You know that they can hide a bug in the car. They can hide a bug in your house. They can put a listening device near a location or in a location that you normally exist in. And if you have a conversation in that location, they can hear it without you knowing that there's a listening device in your place of residence, your place of business, the place that you're always at when you're having conversations. But if you're about to have an important conversation that's not necessarily above board, that's the kind of conversation that you could potentially have simply in a public place where there's so little around you, and you're not going to do it in the same place every time. You might do it at this park this time, you might do it at that park another time, you might do it at a strip club, which people like, oh, strip clubs, da 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 da. But guess what? Ain't nobody in there paying attention to nothing other than the girls. So if you're in there and somebody's paying attention to you, that's who's watching you. That's who's telling you. Because as dudes, ain't nobody interested in us. So if you order you a couple drinks and you sit at a table, just the two of y'all, and tip the women to leave you alone, and you be sitting there and y'all could talk business right there and nobody knows what's going on. These are things that y'all need to think about when y'all start talking about conversations. But Jesse said, all very good advice. You brought out the point I think about, the inconsistency and want to keep deep. I find it that I sound a little more dull when I'm deep and more expressive when it's higher. And that's going to be the true thing, Jesse. Those of us that do not have naturally deep voices are not going to know how to fluctuate the bass. But if you have a naturally deep voice, you will be able to fluctuate the bass. Notice how the longer I talk to you guys on the show, the higher pitch my voice gets and the less bass that's in my voice. But at the same time, I can redirect myself back to the bass every now and again if I'm consciously thinking about it. But if I want to make sure that I am projecting clearly, I'm not so much focused on actually producing the bass. I am more focused on producing the dialogue. If you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, the slower I talk to you and the more focused I am when I'm talking to you about it, the more concerned the receiver of this message gets, because this means that I'm clearly not playing any games when I'm displaying this information. I'm thinking about each word before I say it. I am calculating your response and preparing for retaliation. And most people are doing this. When you notice that an individual is serious, they're not playing anymore. When they're not talking fast anymore, they have very few words to say. They have very, very few responses and reactions to what's going on around them. They just have eye contact. They are focused on you, period. From that point forward, you know that somebody's about to get their ass whooped. All right, let's go ahead and touch base on the next one, because I know we got some of these that this is going to be some tic-tac-toe stuff going on. All right, let me go ahead and get this one so I can hear what's about to get said, so you can hear what's about to get said.
What do you think?
Man, I gotta quit going out like a sucker. Why, but once in a blue moon, I'll get a crush on a girl that fucks my mind up so much I end up putting way too much value in them subconsciously. It's not even like I'll go out of my way to set them up so high, it's just what ends up happening as a result of how my brain perceives them. I'm catching myself resorting to high school shit now, on some constantly checking my phone for a reply type shit. It's worse when you know deep down they don't see you in the same way, yet you still do sucker shit like that. This puts you in such a bad spot too, because it's obviously one-sided. You're making someone a priority that only sees you as a semi-option, maybe. It sucks when you see this going down in real time too, but you still keep fucking up. Like you're looking into a fire. You know it's gonna burn your ass, but you're slowly still putting your hand closer to the fire like a dummy. I gotta get out of this weak-ass mindset. I've been doing good for years with moderate crushes here, and then this one girl comes along, and suddenly my brain doesn't know when I'm just seen as leftovers. It's worse when you have to work with the girl, and see her constantly. It's rough out here. Fuck the crying at this point, though. All I know is I gotta consciously make a change. Even if it means killing my ability to develop feelings, period, somehow. I can't keep going out sad like this.
Okay, hold on a second. So I realized that there was an echo and I had to turn off my mic. And now I realize that my mic is off, so I had to turn it back on. We're going to be bouncing back and forth with this until StreamYard fixes the audio files. But here's the thing. He is right. We have a problem as men where we wear our hearts on our sleeves. We find ourselves head over heels for a female on first contact. It happens a lot to us. Truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, it's like 150 times in a lifetime will this be the experience that you will have. So out of your 50-year, 100, well, not even 100-year, out of your 50 to 70-year lifespan, most of us, you got to think about the fact that you're 3-4 times a year or more, you will find yourself overly attracted to, all right, Jesse, I appreciate you sliding by, and definitely show. Look, we talking about a lot of stuff that's happening tomorrow with the country, with Canada, with the Dogecoin, the stimulus check that they're talking about. Make sure that you slide by tomorrow so that you can put your 2 cents in about some of the weird stuff that I already knew it was going down this way. But we're gonna talk about a lot of that stuff because Trump made a Trump coin. Elon Musk made a Dogecoin, named it after the Doge subcontracted group that's working with the president, which he did that on purpose because even though they're not the same company, the name is branded now. And the more success that Doge does in the United States government, the more success that Dogecoin might be for investors. They're going to assume that they're the same thing, but they're not, because the Doge group is a team that is assigned to do stuff in the White House. It's not actually a company. It's not actually a business. It's not a stock option, but the Dogecoin is in fact an investable stock option. So make sure that you check that out tomorrow. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. I'm going to try my best to fit as much information as possible, but we're going to be carrying it over for a few hours. So definitely stop by tomorrow. It was good checking you out, Jesse. Special shout out to Jesse Smith, y'all. But as I was saying, when it comes down to the ability for us as men to deal with these females, and it's not the ladies' fault. It's not the ladies' fault. Guys inherently are physically attracted to women, especially if women dress sexualized. But the fact is that there's more to it, because some guys actually can like her attitude and her personality because they work with her, because they're going to school with her, because they're associating with each other in the same place at the same time, doing the same stuff. And this leads them to a situation where they like each other. Well, he likes her, at least. She's focused on the grind. He's focused on her. This is one of the reasons why we say that women are more able to be successful than men, because they come to work so that they can get paid. They're coming to work. They're trying to get promoted in the job. They're trying to become CEO. They're trying to take over the company. The men are at work making money, instinctively trying to find a wife while they're at work. If he can marry his colleague, that would be fantastic for him, because he gets to work with his wife. He gets to go home with his wife. They get to talk about the job, especially if they work on the kind of job that's confidential, where the only people that can know about it are the people on the job. That makes it easier for him, because he can talk about his work with his wife and not break security clearance, because she has the same security clearance in the company. It doesn't work well for you, because when you're working with your wife and you two start fighting at the house, you two start fighting on the job. Not a lot of people have the common sense and capabilities to keep personal stuff in your personal life away from your company. But, we got to figure that part out. A lot of the times we got to find that balance. But yes, this does lead to men being emotionally dead inside. This does lead to some men who train themselves not to act on their feelings and their emotions, which makes it more difficult for them to express themselves to women once they've gotten into a relationship. So now they're with this girl. They kind of want this girl, but they don't want to show it because they don't want to do too much too soon. And now they're sending mixed signals, because she wants him to be head over heels for her, because she's head over heels for him. But he has been head over heels for a number of people that have mistreated those feelings or ignored those feelings. And he doesn't have the confidence and comfortable positioning to say, I'm going to express that to her. I don't have the green light yet, or I can't find that right sign. I don't see that right moment. And these are the things that's going to interfere with your ability to express yourselves to one another, which requires the women to be a lot more emotional supported in the scenario, and show the man that it is okay for him to express that he is infatuated with her, and support his positive behaviors in her possession, because without that, he's not going to feel confident and capable of doing so. Likewise, ladies, because a lot of men have to suppress their feelings to prevent from offending women. The men might be attracted to you and not go over there and approach you and talk to you about it. You might catch them staring at you quite a few times, but you'll never see them come over and talk to you. And a lot of times you might go over there to see what they got going on, and they might leave because you caught them staring at them. And truth is that if you really like that guy and he's coming off as a little bit shy and reserved, your best efforts is to go over there and go and talk to the guy, because if you talk to the guy, then he's going to be able to express to you his true feelings and desires, because you came over and you gave him the green light. But giving him the green light is not just like, go tell me what you wanted to tell me. It's like, you have to break that ice and go over there and tell the guy that you are in fact interested in him. And since you noticed him, you're not going to tell him that you noticed him noticing you. You want to just let him know that you noticed him. And because you noticed him, you wanted to get to know him. And then you want to ask him for his contact and communication. And I guarantee you, he'll give you his number, all of his social media handles, and you will 1 to 2 rings, and he's picking up the phone. Soon as he knows that you're on caller ID, he's not going to let 4 rings go by and not answer the phone. Soon as he knows that that's you, he's up on the phone. You're sending him a text message, he's sending it back. So he doesn't necessarily have to tell you exactly how important you are to him, because you're never going to be left unread. You're never going to be left without a response. You're never going to be redirected to voicemail unless he's at work in the middle of something. But if he is at work in the middle of something, this will be the kind of person that will contact you as soon as he gets out, apologize for not responding, even though it really wasn't all that serious, and then try his best to make it up to you by giving you his undivided attention while he has availability for that. So all of this rolls around for us to really be careful with how we perceive things, because if they're standoffish because of a reason. And instead of us assuming that they're standoffish because of something we did, we need to assume that their standoffishness is in our best interest according to them. And we need to let them know it's okay. You don't have to be reserved. You can loosen up a little bit and we're going to be just fine. And once they gain the confidence to know this, that's when you're going to realize that everything's going to be okay. Now, let's go ahead and touch base with the next one here, because we got some pretty entertaining ones coming up.
This is exactly how I feel about our breakup. No woman is going to leave because you made a mistake. She left because you made it a habit. Truth is, she would have rather fix things with you than start over with somebody new. And she stuck around because she was hoping you would step up and be the man she deserves. But you thought she would never leave and you got comfortable disrespecting her. And look, now she's gone. Even the most loyal woman who fights to make it work will eventually get tired.
Oh my
Too much
goodness.
too fast. Matched with this beautiful.
So I have not seen a woman. So this is going to be one of those touchy topics. I have not seen a woman that is in the relationship, fighting for the relationship and going out of her way to make the relationship work. Typically, the expectation that the woman has is not of the man to improve some failures in a relationship that he has performed. Usually the issue is that there are expectations that he's not meeting, but she's not telling them what those expectations are. There is disappointment in her lack of receiving something. She's not telling them what she's not getting. There is frustration that he's not achieving something. There's no communication about that disappointment. And the lack of communication leads to him thinking everything's okay, her knowing everything's not okay, him still on autopilot doing what he can do to the best of his ability, her disappointment that nothing's changing without her saying anything about it. He's not picking up on any clues. He's not picking up on any hints. He's not picking up on any signs because he's focused on the grind. Then she gets tired of waiting on change without putting in effort for the change. And then she ends up leaving him because she's not satisfied in the situation. First and foremost, in order for you to be in a situation where you can honestly say that you are putting in too much effort, you have to first recognize that you are communicating your dissatisfaction with your partner. You have to find out what dissatisfaction your partner has. You have to put in effort to satisfy your partner's needs, wants, and expectations, and then observe your partner's ability to reciprocate. Now, notice, I didn't say that, oh, ladies, this is what you need to do, or oh, fellas, this is what you need to do. This is how both sides need to treat each other in order for you to recognize that the situation is unfixable. You yourself have to acknowledge what change you made in your relationship to see it get better. Just having extra patience for your partner, that's not showing any change. What are you doing different in your relationship that you weren't doing before the problem arose, that is trying to make positive change in the conflict of your relationship that will aid your relationship in being more successful? If your response to that in some way, shape, or form is deflecting the responsibility of that situation to your partner to fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed, you're not applying yourself to fixing a relationship, because it takes both of you to make it. It takes both of you to break it. Even with infidelity, in order for you to be cheated on, you have to be part of the catalyst of that cheating. Men do not just randomly go out and cheat on women just for the sake of doing it, the way women don't randomly go out and cheat on men just for the sake of doing it, outside of those people who have no intent of being exclusive in a relationship. If you have the mentality of exclusively dedicating yourself to this relationship, the strongest motivation for infidelity is going to be the lack of success in your relationship, where you're not feeling validated, you're not getting confirmation, you're not getting appreciation, you are feeling alone and abandoned in your relationship. And while you are still in this relationship with no expectation of walking out of the relationship, you still feel incomplete and you find that completeness outside of your relationship. That's where the cheating starts. Now, because they're getting the validation outside of the relationship that they're not getting inside of the relationship, a second relationship manifests because they are getting what they needed from their relationship from somewhere else. Once the relationship starts to change and their relationship starts showing what they've been missing, they typically drop the side person and dedicate themselves back to the relationship. But there's also the issue of if they get caught with more than one relationship before that dissolvement occurs, now the person that they've been in a long relationship with is frustrated and disappointed at them for having multiple relationships. But you contributed to that by not being the person that your partner needed. And that's on both sides of the fence. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other ones we got going on here, because we got a few of these.
Beautiful girl, and we majorly hit it off. We were both 30 plus. First meeting was pretty short due to the restaurant closing super early, but we had a great conversation and we started texting each other daily. Second date comes along and we have a pretty great conversation over wine, and I initiate holding hands when we leave. We walk around a bit and eventually we kiss, make out a bit, and as we walk around, she's putting her head on my arm and everything. Date ends and we go our separate ways. She texts me she had a really great time with me, and I assume everything is great. 2 days later, she sent me a text saying she's decided we are no longer a match. It stings a little bit, but whatever, but I am curious as to why, so I send her a text where I basically say I respect her decision, and if she's willing to tell me why, that would be great. She texts back saying she felt like we were too much too fast. As a guy who's been told before that I move too slow, now it's too fast. At what date should you kiss a girl or hold hands? Would love some advice on how to understand at what pace a girl would like to go. Hi all. I am
Okay, hold on a second. That's a tough one. So here's the thing. You're not going to really know what pace she wants to go on until you communicate with her. And we have multiple styles of women. We have the women that want a man to take charge and just forcibly do things. You have the women that want consent before you do things. You have the women who wouldn't care either way. You're not going to know what kind of woman you got until you test the waters. Now, unfortunately, that makes it harder for the men to be able to know when is the appropriate time for the kiss. We have had women on the show that are pissed off because the men take too long to initiate first contact. Women to complain about the men taking too long to transition a relationship into something further. We have women that complain about the men moving too fast and rushing into things, there isn't a set time. It depends on the person, and because it depends on the person, the issue that you have is that you have to communicate with that person. Now with her, if the relationship is just moving too fast for her, that means that she has, for the first time in a long time, recognized that she is head over heels for you. Now, understandably, there's another reason for this, because she could have an ex that's hovering back around. She could have somebody else that she was more interested in than you that showed up and started giving her some green lights. She could have some personal problems that she has not resolved, that she doesn't want you to know about, and she's going to resolve those issues before continuing to communicate with you. There's a lot of reasons why she would tell you that though you guys are progressing very quickly in what seems to be a positive situation, it is beyond her comfort levels. The truth is that is her insecurity. That's not something that you did wrong. That is her issue. That's not your issue. You yourself recognize that she's not ready. Now, you have two choices. You can either wait for her to get ready, essentially slowing things down a little bit, or you can move on. But you're going to experience something similar where they're not going to really give you any hints or any clues as to when is a good time for you to initiate. However, if the women who are the pro egalitarian style women, the alpha boss ladies, these like I'm Miss Independent ladies that are here, were to step up and start taking charge in their relationships and start initiating that contact, he would know when it's appropriate to start doing something. Because if you don't want to be kissed, you don't kiss him. When you start kissing him, he starts kissing on you. You start holding his hand, he starts holding your hand. You know, if the man has to initiate, the man has to test the waters and see if he's allowed to get rejected, if he's going to get rejection or not. If the women initiate as much as the women expect men to initiate, then the women would give the men the green light. Once she starts holding his hand, it is okay for him to hold her hand. Once she starts kissing on him, it is okay for him to start kissing on her and progress in that particular fashion. Now, when it comes down to consensual everything else, you're still going to have to get consent before you initiate every one of those scenarios. But once you guys reach that level of physical contact, you will find that initiation does actually give you guys the green light that level of contact is now approved. So being able to attempt that particular type of contact is not a taboo because you guys have already done it before. That's something that, you know, we don't really think about. So again, a lot like with women with coming in contact with the guys, if he wants you hanging on his clothes and stuff to that effect, he might take your arm and put it on his arm. So that means that if you ever wanted to grab his arm, he's already given you that green light because he's already took your hand and wrapped it around his arm. You know, by taking charge in a passive sense, where it is you guys can let the men know that they're headed down the right path. You're lighting torches down the path of success of the relationship. Again, it takes both of you guys. We can't just put all of the priority and responsibility on one side. It can't just be only the man's responsibility to progress a relationship, and it cannot just be only the woman's responsibility to progress a relationship. It has to be both sides. And if it is both sides where we're working on the success of the relationship will progress pretty quickly. And if we're not comfortable with that, instead of breaking off the relationship because of being so overwhelmed by it, you have to be able to express that communication and let your partner know that you are not currently comfortable with the extreme speed that the relationship is moving. And you are hoping that, you know, while they understand what's going on, that you guys can moderate your pace and kind of let you get used to where you are right now before y'all progress any further. And if you guys got the rest of your lives ahead of each other together, you take all the time you need. You're not trying to rush to the finish line. If the goal is not to get laid, you're not rushing to get laid, because once you get laid, there's nothing left. You're not rushing to the marriage, because once you get married, there's nothing left. You spending the rest of your lives with each other, ideally. So there is no reason to rush. There is no reason for pressure. But a lot of times we can find ourselves, men and women alike, pressuring our partner for the first kiss, pressuring our partner for the first hug, pressuring our partner for the first one-night stand. That leads into multiple nightstands thereafter. We can see ourselves pressuring our partner. Ladies, you do this all the time, pressuring your partner for marriage, you know, but if they're not ready for it, they're not ready for it. You guys can spend 10 years together and they're not ready for the marriage idea. But you've got to be comfortable with the person, because if you're spending the rest of your lives together, it doesn't matter what else is around that. What matters is that you guys are always going to be together. So let's go ahead and touch base with the next one.
28, and I'm matched with a 25-year-old female. I met her for coffee, and she seemed perfect. However, she is messaging me really intense messages and moving a bit too fast. I don't like swearing, but she's using words that I never use. I also feel like she threatened me, saying, "If you're dead, I'll just unleash on you and disappear. I hope someone prays for you then." What does that even mean? She goes from sweet to intense via texting. I know she's very introverted, but is this normal? I've met her once, and she wants me to call her my girl. My gut says something's off, but I don't know what to do. She's so attractive and clever. She herself acknowledges that she is intense, and her strong feelings can overwhelm guys. She's also dropping lots of compliments and expects me to maintain communication daily already. Any advice is welcome. I'm quite a good judge of character in person. She has past anxiety issues.
I was stood up today. So
Shit.
20 years old, I met this guy who is 21 on
Hold on.
Hinge a week.
Controlling is what she is, and that's going to be an issue that you're going to have to address. My apologies, we're still dealing with the voiceover scenario, but you can work on that, because if she's gotten out of bad relationships where not knowing what was going on is the thing, she's got some trauma that she has to work out, and you've got some trauma that you've got to help her work out if you're going to stay with this chick. Just because a person is traumatized, male or female, doesn't mean that they're not valuable in your current relationship. It just means that if you're going to stick with this person, you're going to have to help them work through the traumas that they're going through right now while they're with you. This is going to require you, if you're recognizing trauma signs where he or she has been involved in something, whether it been recent or a long time ago, that is reflecting in obnoxious and strange behavior patterns, abnormal behavior patterns, you're going to have to be a lot more patient with this person. Now, this does not mean that you allow yourself to be abused. It does not mean that you allow yourself to be mistreated. It just means that some of the things that they say off the cuff that doesn't really make sense, while you don't ignore it, you don't take offense to it. Sometimes that's hard to do depending on what it is. But once they start getting comfortable with being around you, the difference between the way they're pretending to be and the way they really want to be around you stops being two different things. And then the real them starts coming out. And as the real them starts coming out, hopefully that's the part of them that you really wanted to be with. And if that's the case, then you're able to stay with that person. But if they're doing too many things that are too many red flags for you, that is something that you're not going to feel comfortable with adapting to, then again, you still got to throw in the towel. Again, you're not trying to put yourself in a position where you're going to be going round for round with another person, because that's not the goal. You're not trying to get into a relationship that is a fight, that is a gauntlet, that is like running a marathon. You're trying to be in a relationship with a person that's going to aid you in your success. You're trying to be in a relationship with a person that is going to support your objectives and agendas. You're going to support their objectives and agendas. You guys are going to be financially successful better. Now, this is going to mean that you have to find somebody that does have some things in common with you interest-wise as far as success is entailed. But you guys can have different interests when it comes down to entertainment, when it comes down to hobbies, when it comes down to vacations and other such. One of you might be organized, the other one might be disorganized. Doesn't matter. As long as your primary financial goals to success are somewhat intertwinable, where what she wants to do with her life and what you want to do with your life can both be achieved at the same time without sacrificing one for the other, then you've got a match. If you're in a situation where her career puts your life on hold or your career puts her life on hold, you're not going to really be a match. And even if you guys did get together and stay together, she's going to have resentment because she put her career on hold, and you're going to have resentment because she's going to put her career before your expectations because she's tired of putting her career on hold because she did her part for you according to her position. And now you have to allow her to do her thing as well. There's going to have to be a reasonable exchange between the two of you. So you have to kind of negotiate that and then be supportive on it and stand by that until the bitter end. So try your best to find that person that is going to be in line with your expectations as far as being successful as a family, and then stick with it, work it out. Because these days, especially when we're middle-aged, we're not going to find a person that's not traumatized. We're not going to find a person that's not damaged. Even if they are damaged from their childhood and they've never been in a relationship in their present, you're not going to find a person that's not damaged in some way, shape, or form. It's not possible in modern times. There's something about them that you're going to have to deal with. And there's something about you that they're going to have to deal with. And recognizing that, you just got to have the patience that you would expect somebody to have with you so that you guys can both work on the differences. And that's the dating phase, is teaching each other how to get along with each other so that you guys can last in the marriage without a divorce. It's the training phase. I've said it forever. The dating phase is the training phase. You are teaching her what she needs to do to satisfy you as a wife. She's teaching you what you need to do to satisfy her as a husband. As long as she's working towards being the best wife that she can be for you, and you're working on being the best husband that you can be for her, then you two are going to be successful without a hitch. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Ago. We seemed to click pretty instantly. We talked about our interests, our goals after college, what we sought out of a relationship, and everything aligned. He was a near perfect match and cute to boot. We planned to meet today for 1 p.m. at a coffee shop to get to know each other better. He insisted on picking me up, so I'd send him the details of my address closer to the meetup time. Come morning, as I'm waiting to hear back from him, he's unmatched with me. Listen, just feeling a little disheartened because a similar incident occurred with another guy, M21, maybe a week or so before that. We got along well, but on the day of our date, he canceled to pursue another girl. I appreciate that this guy reached out to me at least, but the hurt remains. Actually, he left me a text and voicemail yesterday morning expressing how much he regrets going out with this other girl instead of me. His reasoning: they were at 2 different maturity levels. He wishes to take me out, but I'm on the fence about it, since at the time, we both agreed to plan to talk to one another exclusively. It sort of feels like I'm the second option. It's so hard to date these days. Part of me feels like no one is authentic or genuine with their intentions. I consider myself to be a pretty girl with a fun personality, and I know I'm worthy of better. Just sucks that no one else sees that, I guess. Can anyone else with similar experiences relate?
How would most women react if they found you're their first relationship?
Yeah. We can find a lot of stuff that we can relate to on this. Check this out. So, guys typically are put in the friend zone in the exact same fashion. When he's interested in her, she might have been interested in what he was doing for her, but then she ends up dating somebody else, and the dude's on the back burner. It's the same scenario. What we have is with your situation is that they match with you, and they get I don't know what's up with your address, but they get your address, and then they end up going out with another chick in another area. Odds are the distance between them and you is a lot further than the distance between them and the other chick. They hook up with the other chick, and then they regret the fact that they hooked up with the other chick. A lot of times men think lust wise instead of thinking logic wise. So instead of the fact that they connected well with you and they're going to drive the extra distance to connect with you, they decide to instead get with the one chick that they were talking to while they were talking to you on the dating app, which is another issue that we have with dating apps, is because while I'm giving you my attention on a dating app, the time it takes for you to respond to my message, I'm messaging somebody else. That is what everybody has to deal with. While one person is talking to you, they could also be having a conversation with 20, 30, 50, 75 other people. And if the other person that they're matching with, while they're matching with you, gives them the hint or the sign that they could potentially lead to a one-night stand right away with no strings attached or no conflict, they'll probably lean on lust before they lean on a long-term relationship, which leads the men down the wrong path where they regret this. Now, you being 21, you're going to be in a situation where you're dating 20-year-olds. You're going to have a lot more of those 20-year-olds that are looking to get laid before they're looking to get a lifetime companion. You're not going to experience that as much with the men that are in their 40s, but the men that are in their 40s are men that have already tried and failed enough times to know that they should probably wait for the right one instead of running out there and hoping that they can get the right one out of all of the affairs that they have. Women are going to say that it's not fair that the women can't run out there and have affairs until they're in their 40s and then marry a man in his 40s and they just live the rest of their lives happily ever after. But you have to understand that what a woman wants from a man can produce between 40 and 70. What a man wants from a woman A woman starts being able to produce at 15, 16, 17 years old, is legally able to produce that at 18 to 30, and stops being capable of producing it between 35 and 45. So the older you get, the less likely you're able to meet the expectations of a man. Whereas the older a man gets, the more likely the man will be able to meet your expectations. So since the expectations of men and women are inverted, a woman that is desiring to be the match that she can be for a man requires her to start doing things younger, earlier on, to meet the expectations of men. Now, granted, while men have a high concern for body counts, the fact is, all body counts aside, a man could ignore your body count to some degree, especially if the conversation doesn't come up. He could ignore that body count under the expectation that you are able to fulfill the other desires that the man has, or not just desires, the needs of the man. So if you are 35 or 45 years old and you're trying to meet a guy that's 40 years old, he's in your age group, you feel, well, we're only a few years apart. You've got to be the wife that he's expecting to have, not have that mentality or that behavior that, he's got to accept you, but you don't have to do anything for it, because that's going to be a no-go. You have to understand that you will find the females that are in their early 20s that will cater to the man. But you also have to understand that even in those scenarios, these men are catering to the woman at the same time. So it's not just a situation where, she's a servant to him and that's what he needs. No, the men are taking care of the women from the gate. They're buying them everything that they need, taking them everywhere that they want to go within the financial limits of the man. You have men that'll try to cook for the woman. They'll clean up behind a woman. They'll try to do her laundry. They'll run her bath water for her. They'll give her massages and all this other stuff that men need. They'll do that for her, trying to spoil the woman so that she can feel valued. But the reciprocation of spoiling doesn't always occur. And that's an issue that I tell you guys, as much effort as he puts into you, you should put much more effort into him. The old saying is lagniappe, which means give a little extra. And what you have to do is, no matter how much your partner gives to you in your relationship, you want to make sure that you put in more effort reciprocating to your partner. If you are reciprocating more to your partner and your partner is more reciprocating to you, you will come to find out that your relationship will grow a stronger, healthier bond, because you guys will find more and more ways to go out of your way for your partner, because you already know that your partner is planning on going out of their way for you. It is not the gift that counts. It is the effort. It is the thought that counts. So the more thought they put into it, the more effort that they put into it, not the more money, the more effort and the more thought that they put into it, the more you tried. And that is what your partner is going to value. So make sure that you guys pay attention to that. Like and subscribe as y'all file through today. We're going to step on the next one here.
At 30 years old, does it seem daunting? As I'm 30 now, is there like a stigma or something wrong with me if the girl I was dating found out I was their first relationship? Would she think or feel in that way? I just won't, because I know when I do get a girlfriend, my friends will tease me about it. Just wondering if I should feel ashamed or awkward about it. I guess all of my life I have been trying, but nothing ever clicks. Or for me, I feel like I'm still super behind because I still don't drive. So I rarely tried dating.
Sent me a pic from the internet. Talked to this guy and asked how his week.
Okay. Well, from the perspective of ladies, I got to tell you that if you're trying to date and you're in your 30s, the one thing that you're going to have an issue with is you're not going to know what to do, but you're probably going to be more golden. Now, you are going to have your age as a catalyst against you, but at the same time, if you have no past history in the dating field, if you don't have a body count, or if your body count is excessively low, like 2, 5, something like that, you are going to be fantastic for a man to be able to partner with you, and you guys could work together to be successful. You're not going to have issues with this. But when it comes down to a dude doing this with a chick, it's going to be very, very hard. The women have expectations that the men are supposed to know how to cater to women when you've never had any experience with women. As a man, if you've been focusing on your grind and you're not financially stable, you're not going to have the confidence to really get out there and engage with the women. But you are going to be expected to fit that bill as a man. So it is, you are, while you are a little bit behind, you're still, I said before, it takes a man 3/4 of their life to become the level of success that they're satisfied with. In order to at 60 years old, you would have spent 40 years of your life, and if not 30 years of your life, if you started at like 12, 14, 15 years old, you to get to where you needed to be. You're right. Now, 70 years old, you would have done about 50 years. You know what I'm saying? 50 years, 55 years of work to get to where you are, whether you're satisfied with your standard of living or not. The effort that you put into your life based off of the decisions that you make stem from your ability to walk through all of the changes that need to be made in being successful. You have to start your 20, the earlier you start your 20-year plan, the better. And the funniest thing is that you're not going to get that 20-year plan together if you do not change the times today. I got people blowing me up right now. So at 30, you realize, man, I need to do some other stuff. I need to get me a car so that I can provide her with transportation. I need to get my own place. I need to, all this other stuff. You're coming out of college where you've been doing a roommate system, riding around with your homeboy's car and never felt like you really needed one, because if you didn't have your homeboy, you could catch an Uber. And now you're thinking about, oh, I'm fresh out of college. I'm trying to find somebody to settle down with, and I don't even have my shit together. This is what men have to deal with. And ladies, it is a long scenario that we have to, we don't get the mentorship that we're supposed to get. So between 10 and 20, when we're supposed to be getting taught responsibility, we're not being taught responsibility by the women. From 10 to 20, we're taught to sit down and shut up and follow the instructions of our parents from the mom, because a lot of the times we have single families where the single parent families where the children are being raised by the mothers. We don't have the men always in the child's life being able to teach the child how to make, save, and invest money, how to buy their own car, how to be responsible with that car, how to make appropriate decisions. All we have is the structure of, don't fuck up. Then when you're in your 30s, and your father's trying to teach you, or not even your father, you have a mentor now, because you find somebody that's typically older than you, that's got his shit together. You want to be like that. So now you're going to emulate him. He's going to tell you all the shit that you wasn't told when you was a kid. Now you're in your 30s trying to get your life together. Usually a man's 20-year plan starts in his mid to late 30s, and by the time he's 55, 60 years old, he made it close to where he was trying to go if he didn't make any poor life decisions while he was chasing relationships or partying with his homeboys. Now, this also means that you're in a position where once you decide, it's like having a workout regimen, it's like being on a diet. Once you realize that this is what you want in your life, you have to stick to it and not change it. So once you start setting your 20-year plan, that's what you're going to be doing for the next 20 years. So if I were 40 years old and I was doing a 20-year plan, by the time I'm 60, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. These are the goals that I'm trying to stick to. And you're not going to meet those goals if you don't stick to a specific regimen. And that is one of the things that people don't realize. They don't understand that. It's hard to say, it's hard to accept, but the fact is that you're going to find somebody where you are. But if you are a person that is trying to improve yourself, you don't want somebody that is you're going to settle for less to get a person where you are, when that is not where you're planning on staying. You are on your way to something greater. They have plateaued in their life. Therefore, they're satisfied where they are. They're satisfied with where you are, but they're not going to put any effort to become where you want to be at in life, which also means that you guys are going to end up growing apart. This is one of the reasons why older men are more successful with younger women, because younger women have dreams and ambitions and goals to improve, women that are in their 30s and 40s have plateaued and they are satisfied with the life they have. They might want more or they might wish for more, but if a man isn't going to give it to them, they're not really trying to put in a lot of effort to get out there and go and get it. Likewise, men that are satisfied with the lifestyle that they have in their middle ages, they're not ascribing to do anything to make their lives any better either. So women that are trying to be better and do more and achieve more cannot get with a man that is satisfied with the standard of living that he has, because he is going to weigh her down. Likewise, women that have plateaued and they have no interest in becoming better are not going to be able to partner with the man that is trying to be better. She is going to weigh him down. So you have to make sure that the ladies are that you're getting with still goal driven and have aspirations that you can incorporate into your visions, and still both of you achieve what you're trying to achieve. Once you find that person that is able to get you in the right spot where y'all can both be successful together, that's the person you get to spend the rest of your life with. You guys get to stand there and make decisions together financially. You guys get to move money around and make money for you. You guys get to take the profits from some of your investments to invest in other things. So these are the conversations y'all should be debating on: how good total is in the morning for breakfast and which stock options we should get in the morning. That's it. That's it. Bills should get paid like clockwork. If we need to rearrange the finances so that we can make a huge move, then we need to be able to rearrange the finances to make that huge move. After everything settles down, we need to go back to putting our money up the way we were putting our money up so that we can live off of that. You want to make your later greater, which means that your now, you need to be able to balance so that you can invest in your future. We have so many people with a religious background that want to invest in their afterlife, the life after death. They want to do so much stuff to prepare them for the life after death. Why don't you prepare for next year? Why don't you start today preparing for next month, and start next month preparing for next season, and start next season preparing for next year? Why don't you start this decade preparing for next decade so that in a decade you can see some difference? Short-term goals, capitalizing on long-term goals, where as time moves forward, your ability to make yourself more successful is less stressful and less difficult because you have more things going for you. That is what we're supposed to be working on. Once we get there, we're going to have far less issues, because then money can make money for you. You can be financially successful and you don't need or want for anything. But until we get there, we're going to be grinding. We're going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul. We're going to be barring against a stone, and we're not going to have enough time for anything. And we're going to be subconscious about trying to move towards a positive relationship because we don't have our shit together. And as long as we don't have our shit together, we are not going to be functional in our relationships. All right, let's go ahead and tap into the next one. See what we got going on here.
And went. He said he went camping with his friends to the mountains. It was not my intention to ask pictures, but I did anyway. He sent me a pic, but the quality is not good. I decided to reverse image and voila. I saw the image from the internet, which is camping site, but not in his location as he claimed it was. I asked why he sent me an image from the website and it's on a different location. He then said he got it from a friend after he told me he got pics. Yeah, I thought my friend got pics. He could have gone out with a woman, but none of my business. We were supposed to meet, but I changed my mind and I have not responded to him anymore.
My girlfriend got coffee with a guy she used to date. Didn't tell me.
If you ask him where he's at, this is one of the worst parts about the internet. This is one of the worst parts about the internet. So check this out. You have the type of people that troll. You have the kind of people that rickroll. They catfish. And the thing is that you're going to be in those situations where you're going to be talking to somebody. They're going to send you a pic. It's not their real location. It's not the real them. It's not the real spot. And this is the reason why a lot of men in the dating field, because the men are a lot more at risk in this than women, whether women believe it or not. The men want to meet in person. Women say, oh, no, the men are not more at risk than women because the men aren't going to get abducted and the men aren't going to get attacked and this, that, and the third. But, sweetheart, a man's got to make sure that he's not talking to a 14-year-old that's trolling on a social media platform. because he'll go to jail thinking that he's talking to somebody that's 35, because there's the law states that ignorance is no excuse for the law. So if you're on a dating platform and you're talking to somebody on a dating platform, the platform says that the person is 32 or 27 or 25 or something like that, and it really is somebody that's like 17, 18 years old, and that person is talking to you, and their parents find out and they get that to the police, and then the police comes and finds you. Now you're going to jail because you're meeting up with somebody that you thought was grown. Bro, that is dangerous. You have situations where they, oh, come pick me up from my house, and then the guy will go over to the house, and sometimes the police will be waiting on him. So it's a dangerous situation for guys. Then we also have the situations where people are setting each other up. So the women and men are both susceptible to those setups, to those scams, where they could get ambushed if they meet in a secluded location, which is why I say go to a Starbucks. Go to a Starbucks, best place to meet. You can sit outside and talk. You can get yourselves a cup of coffee. You're spending $5 a person. You don't have to spend too much money. You're in a public place where you're safe. You're seen. There's witnesses. There's workers there. So it's not like you're going to end up being alone at all. And if you're outside, you're near your car. So you can just get in your car instead of getting in their car. There's a lot of ways when I say go to a Starbucks. But people, I don't want to go to a Starbucks. I want to go to a fancy restaurant. I ain't got time for that shit. I'll take you to a fancy restaurant when you earn the fancy restaurant. But again, this is a reason why guys want to meet girls in person, because we want to make sure that we're talking to who we're talking to in the photo. You can feed a man a really good story on social media, but the photo is not the person that he's talking to. So ladies, yeah, if you're in a situation where you're talking to a dude and you want pictures, if you're not taking screenshots from the video call, then you're wasting your damn time. Usman, what's up, Usman? Oh yeah, you just dove in. Special shout out to Usman. He's getting here. He said you're right about the trolling. Also, there are inexperienced people doing investigations / operations on dating sites, but get it wrong, way wrong. Guys, we gotta be careful with what we're trying to do. We got to be careful about putting ourselves out there on social media platforms, point blank period, because we got exes that don't want to see us happy, that don't want to see us successful, and these narcissistic people will try to set us up and put us in a bad spot because our photo's up there. It's like a wanted poster, and they'll make sure that we're in a bad spot, in a bad way. So we got to be careful about it. We're not supposed to be chasing sex. We're supposed to be chasing long-term companionships. Ladies are not supposed to be chasing wealth. They're supposed to be chasing long-term companionships that will make them wealthy. Indirectly, the success of what you're trying to achieve is supposed to be indirect, but unfortunately we have this thing where she's cute, I'm going to swipe right on her. If she responds, I'm going to try to see if I can meet up with her, and then I'm going to try to see if we can hook up after that. That's the mentality of some of the men these days, and that's not a smart move. You don't want to waste a lot of minutes on this dating platform, because dating platforms aren't free. They say they are, but they're not free. The free ones have like the lowest quality dating pool. If it's truly 100% free, it's the lowest quality dating pool. That's majority of people trying to hook up with one another on a free scale. But the ones that actually does have a moderate level, 3-star, 4-star success rate kind of situation, it's paid communication. You're either paying for the membership or you're paying for the minutes to communicate with one another. And while you're dealing with that, the issue that you have is that the person that you're talking to, you're paying 30, 50, 100, 200, whatever dollars to talk to this person on this app. You want to cut that out of your budget as fast as possible. So when you meet with this person, you're trying to hopefully get this person to meet with you in person so that you can then take that person's real contact information and start talking to that person in a true sense. And I don't understand why some of the women get offended by that. Because they're like, oh, well, he's not doing X, Y, and Z. But the truth is, he's moving too fast. He's not moving too fast. He don't want to pay for this shit. You have to understand that because a man has to pay for a dating platform, he now has to spend money he has to rent the ability to talk to you so that he can convince you to take you out. Then after he convinces to take you out, Now he has to spend money to come and find you, identify you like Where's Waldo, then spend all of this money to take you out so that he can get your contact information so that he can find out if he actually likes you. Now, this whole time, you're usually the females don't always pay for the dating platforms, because a lot of the dating platforms only requires at least one of the two people communicating with one another to date. Now, that's the weird thing. So if a woman is on a free platform and a man pays for the paid platform, he can talk to her. If a woman pays for the platform, she can talk to a man on a free platform. But more often than not, the women operate on a free platform, and then the man pays for the platform, and then he communicates with her. So she's not paying for the app. She's just talking to whoever paid for the app. Then you're going to pay to take her out. She's not paying to be taken out. You're paying to take her out. Then if she doesn't like you, you got to start all over again. Wasted investment. She's not investing in you. She's going along for the ride. The women that pay for the app, those are the women that you'll be able to connect with, where you will find the right person that you're looking for and be able to build something. So if you're going to pay for a dating app, my advice to you is to limit your communication to only individuals that are also paying for the app, because those are the ones that are serious. Not too often will you see somebody that's trying to scam the system pay for a dating platform profile so that they can sit there and troll people, because as soon as somebody reports them, their account is banned and the money that they put on the monthly membership is gone. So they're not going to pay for a membership if they're trolling. The free ones are more trolls than the ones that aren't paying. But if you don't have it in your budget to pay, as much as you might be genuinely looking for a match, you can't afford to pay for the platform, and that's going to be a disqualifier for you for some people. Usman says a prime example is that recent story of those college kids from Assumption University. What happened with the college kids from what school is called Assumption University? What the heck? Hold on. You gotta be kidding me. Hold on. I gotta see this. Assumption University. Where is Assumption University? So I asked Assumption University is a private school, a Romanian Catholic school in Worcester, Massachusetts. Okay, what they do at what did they do? What did they do at Assumption University? Let's figure out what are you referring to? Assumption University. What do I look for? Assumption University students investigate what dating website? I just want to see what's going on, because I did not hear about the. Oh, hold on. In late 2024, a group of Assumption University students in Worcester, Massachusetts became involved in a controversial incident inspired by the To Catch a Predator TikTok trend. And this event led to serious legal consequences for the students involved. So apparently, 5 Assumption student universities were charged with kidnapping and conspiracy for luring a man to campus using a dating app. The students used Tinder to invite a 22-year-old active duty military service member to the campus. The man was accused of being a pedophile by a group of about 25 students who surrounded and pursued him. The details of the event, Kelsey Brannard, an 18-year-old student, used Tinder to invite the victim to claiming to be 18 on her profile. But if she's 18 and she's claiming to be 18, how is that a pedophile? Now, when the man arrived, he was confronted by a group of students who accused him of seeking underage girls, but she is 18 and claiming to be 18. And apparently this man is 22. That is in his dating range. That's stupid. The victim was chased to his car, where he was allegedly assaulted and the entire incident was recorded on students' phones and captured by campus surveillance. Now, the legal consequences behind this stupidity is the 6 students faced charges, including kidnapping and conspiracy. The students were arraigned on January 16th of 2025. Not guilty pleas entered for all of them. The plea was not guilty. So and when you're talking about kidnapping and conspiracy, you're looking at felony charges. I wonder if these kids are still in school right now. Now, the additional charges include the assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, which could be 30 years in prison for one of the students, and witness intimidation for Kelsey Brainerd. So Assumption University condemned the actions, stating they were aboard and anti heterical. I don't know why they throw that in there, to Assumption University's mission. So basically, they use some very large and unnaturally derived words. They're insulted, and it is unethical, and it is against the mission of the school. So the university emphasizes the incident highlights the harm social media can cause when prompting dangerous behavior. The social media didn't prompt that. The stupidity of the people prompt that. He said the name of the university says it all. The students will assume. Oh my goodness, that's crazy though. So I think that they really got it wrong, because she is legally 18, okay, and she creates a profile of an 18-year-old. She baits a 22-year-old. There is no crime there. If she would have pretended like she was not 18 and made comments to the man that she was less than 16, which is highly irregular on a dating platform, a man that is not a pedophile would have stopped communicating with her. So if she made it seem like she was 18 and dude is after an 18-year-old because he's 22, men like younger women than them, but legal age more often than not, he was doing the right thing, and he got his behind whooped with a deadly weapon because he was trying to go and meet a chick on a college campus. This is why I tell ladies, look, men are not safe on these dating platforms. The women believe that the world is out to get them, but no, the society back in the 40s and 50s might have been aggressive for women, but things have changed so much that men, being expected to be masculine, have no protection. If they don't protect themselves, they have no protection. So they're taking the biggest risk going to engage you first, which is one of the reasons why I said meet at a Starbucks. Because if you met at a Starbucks, you would have been able to see 30 fucking people over there, all on this girl's side. That don't look good. 25 guys standing next to a female. I don't give a damn how old she is. That's all right. I don't want to talk to you. You got 25 male friends. That's okay. I don't want to talk to you. That's okay. I don't even have to have negative assumptions. I'm not trying to be involved with a female that has 25 male associates. I'm not trying to do that. Females are not willing to be involved with a man that has one female associate. So I definitely have no reason why I should be okay with a female having 25 male associates on the first date. Women are going to say, oh no, he's being misogynistic. No, look, ladies, how would you feel if you went on a date and the first contact with the man was that he had 25 women standing behind him? You would be like, oh, hell no. So with that being said, if I'm meeting you in public, you show up with a squad and it's you and a bunch of dudes, nah, that's all right. I'm not even here. He said, give a quick visit in between of my exams. Look, if they're doing quick visits in the bathroom like that one girl was doing in the high school, 25 quick visits in less than an hour, all I'm trying to say is they They messing up. How you doing, Ruderus? Special shout out to Ruderus. He's out here trying to crush these exams. He's coming over here giving us a shout out. I appreciate that. We were on a whole different topic, Ruderus, and I just took your comment and went to the left with it. But I hope that you're being successful with your exams. I appreciate you stopping by and giving us that shout out. I hope that your relationship is going good right now. Make sure that you give her a hug for me and let her know that you are doing awesome. Also, remember, we got like one of those this and that necklaces and stuff like that you can grab off of the platform store, and you can give that to her as a gift. So we have all kinds of stuff up there. I also recommend throw pillows, because when the women like to throw stuff. So fellas, if you pick up some of those this and that throw pillows, at least when she throws something at you, it's not going to hurt. And he's telling us, all right, that's awesome. He says that the relationship is strong. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You keep good. We always have opportunities to make mistakes, but don't do anything on purpose that would negatively impact your success. That's my advice to you on that. Let's go ahead and tiptoe into the next comment. We got a lot of them up here. Actually, we're wrapping up. We got a few.
About it. Is it cheating? As a man at 29 years old, my girlfriend, who's 28, got coffee with a guy who she had previously dated for 2 months. She got coffee with him when her and I were exclusive, and she didn't tell me about it then. Instead, I found out months later.
I appreciate it.
Also, she apparently didn't tell him when they got coffee that she was exclusive with me. Her and I were only recently exclusive, and so part of me wants to give her a pass for not telling me. But her not telling the guy about me really seems messed up. That seems to insinuate that she didn't want the guy to know she was in a relationship. Would you consider this cheating? I found out when I went to write her a note one day before she went on a trip, and I grabbed her work notebook for a piece of paper. Well, in her work notebook was a note about getting coffee with this guy. When I first asked her about it, she wasn't necessarily defensive, but she shut down pretty quickly and was unable to talk about it. This is a recurring thing with her, where she gets overly anxious and stressed and can't really talk through things. It's true that she chose me and that we've been together since. And honestly, since that point, she seemed very committed. But it is still a huge breach of trust. When I asked her if it had been weighing on her or if she had been feeling guilty about it, she said no. Which honestly kind of made my jaw drop.
Guys, why would you date outside your type?
Oh, sorry about that. Special shout out to Ruderus. Appreciate you one more time, buddy. Always good friend. Always good friend. But real quick, let's iron this out real quick. So you start dating this girl. Y'all start becoming exclusive. She goes and finds another dude. Or no, she's talking to her ex, right? And her ex don't know that she's in a new relationship. That's because she didn't want that man to know she was in a new relationship. She was trying to see what he was at, because she might have would have got back with him, because when you and her relationship first started, her relationship with him was longer than your relationship with her, and she was trying to make sure that she made the right choice by leaving him and sticking with you. She don't feel bad about what she did, because women don't feel like when they have an emotional engagement with another person that's not cheating, because they're not sleeping with the other person. Women gauge their behavior against men behavior and say, well, if men can have, if a male's physical contact with the woman is cheating, then if they don't have physical contact, it's not cheating. No, if you have an emotional attachment with somebody else, because women are emotional and men are physical, your emotional attachment with somebody else is cheating, the same way his physical connection to her is cheating. Now, would I call what she did cheating? I would say that it is unfaithful. I'm not going to say that it is cheating. The reason why I'm going to say that it is unfaithful, and there is a little bit of a difference between cheating and unfaithful, is because she did not tell you truthfully that her ex-boyfriend or whatever reached out to her and she was talking to you or talking to her, and she's in a relationship with you now. She did not get your consent about it at all. She's just going to go and do her thing. Now, if that would have led to an affair, she would have been making excuses. But you were supposed to know what she was planning on doing before she went to do it, because she would have expected you to do the same thing. Likewise, she's going out there to go talk to somebody else, women expect their boyfriends to project the fact that they have a boyfriend the entire time they're in a relationship, even if there isn't a reason to I really identify whether or not you're in a relationship. The marriage with the wedding ring shows that the man is taken because women are marking their territory like men are cattle. It is not because the man really wants to project the fact that he's taken. He is required to project the fact that he's taken. Women don't feel like they are required to project the fact that they're taken. That's the reason why women can dress like they're single and then act like they're single, get flirted with and hit on in the bar, and then they go back to the house and pretend like they had a good time with their homegirls and nothing happened. But the fact is that if you've entertained another man's advances, that's technically cheating. Now, this is crazy, but that it is what it is. Usman says that lady was still weighing her options. Espionage at the first at its finest. He's right. She was still juggling the two, and she don't regret the fact that she was juggling the two, and that's why she don't feel nothing about it. Usman said that lady treated it like a video game scenario. Could she level up via cheat code? No, that's exactly the thing. Exactly the thing. So it is hard because first things first, if that the shoe would have been on the other foot and that would have been a dude, it could have been 10 years from now. She find out this information, she's going to want a divorce because the beginning of the relationship 10 years ago started off bad. This woman she's not answering the guy. The reason why she's not answering the guy is because she don't feel like it's none of your damn business. That's why. She's not defensive. She's deflective because you're bringing it up. She don't want to talk about it because it's none of your damn business. But it is your business because if she's weighing her options and not telling you about it when y'all first got together, what is she going to do throughout the relationship if she ends up not being satisfied, but she don't have the respect for you to tell you that she's unsatisfied? Well, that's going to lead you to a situation where she's going to be weighing her options again. Just because it looks like she's somewhat committed to the relationship right now, that's just because she hasn't found any prospects that exceeds your current performance levels. But if in the event that your performance levels start to depreciate or somebody else that has higher performance levels shows up, as Usman said, she's going to use that cheat code, and she's going to level up on your ass. Y'all are going to start having fights in y'all relationship. Y'all going to be arguing over petty shit. Then she's going to leave and go stay by her family or her friend's house. Then all of a sudden, she ain't talking to you for a few weeks. That's when the affair happens. If y'all make up because she come to find out that the new dude that she with beating her ass, then she going to come back to you and y'all going to make up. But she didn't already cheated on you and came back because you were the more stable choice. This is the recklessness that we have to deal with these days. And there's never a situation where this is going to happen on the reverse. The men want to keep everybody in the same house. He's not sitting over here talking about I'm going to have her hidden over here and her hidden over here, and I'm going to weigh my options. It's like, no, I want you and I want her. Y'all figure it out and get along. Usman says also, if she stays with you, then she's bringing it up in every argument, every single argument, bro, every single argument. She is not going to let it die. If you screw up every time you're late, every time you take too long to answer the phone, every time you don't tell her what's going on, she's going to swear to God that this is just like that one time that you messed up 10 years ago. She's never going to let it go. They sandbag shit and they keep throwing it back up and throwing it back up and throwing it back up. And you're going to get tired of hearing it because and they're going to have this argument in front of your friends, in front of your family, in front of your colleagues. They're going to embarrass you in public. They're not, this isn't going to be a one-on-one conversation. These kinds of gripes that women harbor with them are going to continuously be thrown up every chance you get. It's not a good thing. And I tell people usually, if you don't trust your partner because you went through their stuff and you found some hidden information that you wasn't supposed to find, it's inadmissible in the relationship because you found it without a warrant. But because you found it, you've got a conscious choice to make now. You're either going to let it go and walk away from the argument and just pretend like it never happened, or you're going to quit this relationship and just start over somewhere else. One way or another, you have to figure out what you're going to do. If it happened so far in the past that it is irrelevant to the success of your current relationship, then try to make it work. But get a clear understanding with your partner that this behavior will not be in your future, even if it was in your past. However, if this is going to haunt you, where now your behavior is going to change, you're going to be checking cell phones, checking video cameras, checking GPS signals, and all this other shit, just to give you the reassurance that today they didn't do what they wasn't supposed to do. I'm going to be honest with you. Either they're going to find ways to get around that to stay in a relationship with you, or they're going to leave because they're not going to be secure about the fact that you don't trust them. Either way, once the relationship's been tarnished, the trust is gone. The trust is gone. You cannot rebuild trust. You can mend trust, but you're mending trust like a nuke blew up the bridge and you're trying to rebuild the bridge with duct tape and stucco. Shit's not going to be the same. You might be able to use it, but the shit's not going to be the same. It's like rebuilding a crash car. It might look all right on the outside, but that bitch got a bunch of dent frames and bad damage and red lights all over the place. But it looks good on the outside. Fact is that it's never going to be the same again. And that is your choice to either keep it or let it go. Now, long-term relationships, 20, 30, 50-year-long relationships have infidelity in them. Whether it was at the beginning of the relationship or at the end of the relationship, some have it in the middle of the relationship. There will be infidelity in there somewhere. That I have not heard of a relationship that did not have some form of infidelity throughout the relationship when we're dealing with a 20, 30, 40-year relationship. But a 20, 30, 40-year relationship is half of your life. In those types of relationships, you just got to let certain shit go because you're not leaving that person and they're not leaving you. So when they go off and do stupid stuff, you just have to make sure that they don't come back with something that you can catch that you can't get rid of. And that's the best that you can do. However, the more open your relationship is, the more compromise you have to have. But the stricter your relationship is, the more eggshells y'all got to walk on. But y'all have to work that out together. But I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I would be I can't say that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let that go. You went somewhere with your ex and you didn't tell me about it. You didn't think enough about me to let me know what was good. Even if I'm gonna be the laid back dude and say, let's go together. Let's go together. You go talk to him and I'll go, get us set up with our dinner date or whatever. Or let's go together where you go and talk to him and I could sit there and watch. Or I could be the person that's mature enough to say, I trust you to go there by yourself. But you're supposed to be able to have enough respect for me to let me know what the fuck you're doing. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, she would expect that from her man. For him to be honest about her and say, hey, look, my ex called me. They wanted to meet up with me in a public place. It's going to be me, them, and whoever's working there. We're going to be sitting there talking. I don't know what the fuck they want to tell me, but I'm going to try my best to keep it short. That is the respect that is supposed to be given to your partner. She don't want you to go, don't go. But if you tell her, look, I need this so that I can get closure, then they're going to let you go and you're supposed to behave yourself while you're out there. If not, this shit's not going to end well. You sneak off and go meet your ex, the relationship is dead right there. Because just like you snuck off to go meet your ex is the same way that you could have snuck off and had an affair. It's not good. The women wouldn't want that to happen to them, so you're not supposed to let it happen to you. You treat people the way you want people to treat you. So if you would have been flexible in that situation, you hope that they'd be flexible in that situation. But you can't have expectations that you're not willing to adhere to. That makes absolutely no sense. Usman says, with both men and women working now, the issue of work husband is becoming more of a problem too. That was your ass 7 months ago when I was talking about this work husband bullshit that these bitches is doing. Usman, emotional Attachment to another man on your job is cheating out the gate. Work husband, you are doing for this man what you won't do for your man at the house. So now you telling me there's two men in your life that you listen to, but you won't listen to me because you listen to the man that pay you and you listen to the man that's getting paid by the man that's paying you, but you won't listen to me. What the fuck kind of bullshit is that? No, if she's got a work husband, she's got a divorce too. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because you're not going to be okay with me having a work wife. You're not going to be okay with me even having a secretary that is as attractive or more attractive than you when it is her job, especially as an intern, to do what I say, which is something that you won't do as the wife. Hold on now. This work husband shit, I was so mad about this. Like, they'll make dinner at the house, bring it to their work husband and feed him lunch on the job, but they won't make dinner at the house and bring it to their actual husband and feed him at his fucking job. This man hungry. Only time she popping up on him to make sure that he not cheating. She not gonna make sure that he fed. She not gonna make sure he got gas in the car. She not gonna make sure that his tires got air in it. She'll make sure them bitches is flat though, but she not gonna do nothing positive for her husband or her boyfriend. But she'll do all of this. If you thinking about him at the house while you with me, then that means you ain't thinking about me at the house while you with me, because you're making him lunch for tomorrow, but your ass ain't make me shit. What? Hell no, that ain't going down at all. Look, Usman, I've been going in on this work husband thing, but that is emotional cheating. You have formed an emotional bond with another person that is not your romantic partner. That is the same as him establishing a physical connection with another person that is not his wife. It is cheating. That shit makes no sense. He said work husband equals borderline cheating. Ain't no borderline with that. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's emotional cheating. It is 100% cheating. It is 100% cheating, because you can only be in love with one person at a time. You can have love for more than one person, but you can only be in love with one person at a time. And you're sitting over here with the person that you're supposed to have the most love for, your husband, now got a work husband. You're not feeling the same way about both of them at the same time. The work husband, you got more affection for because you're doing shit for your work husband that you don't do for your damn husband. Think about this now. I done seen it on social media where this woman left her husband at the house to go shopping with her work husband because his wife was out of town. What? You might as well just go ahead and move in with him, sweetheart, because you ain't coming back after you finish grocery shopping with him. Fuck that shit. Your ass don't go grocery shopping with me. What did you do? These people is tripping. He said, subject to 20 days of annual off. Yeah, annual days off. Yeah, that makes no sense. No sense. I never liked that work husband scenario. But then again, at the same time, we have secretaries and women are not comfortable with the secretaries. Women would prefer for a man to have a male secretary than a female secretary, because the probability that him and her will be smashing in the elevator is so high that he's not allowed to have a female secretary. A lot of women won't allow that. Likewise, women don't allow men to have female friends, female best friends from high school and college and shit, because y'all should have had a sexual past if you don't already have one, and she's not going to be comfortable with that. Now, when we flip the script, the men are not allowed to have those expectations of women. Women are supposed to be allowed to do what they want to do, however they want to do it, but that's not the truth. The truth is that you are supposed to be held accountable for what you do the same way you want me to be held accountable for what I haven't done yet. So with that being said, the expectation is that the ladies are supposed to not have a work husband if they don't want their husband to have a work wife. They're not supposed to treat another man outside of their relationship as good or better than they treat their husband. The same way they're not going to want their husband to treat another woman outside of the marriage equal to or better than her. That is mutual, universal respect. And I tell you, I'm uniform. I never come from a biased perspective. I'm coming from a straight cross the board. If you don't want this to happen to you, you shouldn't do it to nobody else. This work husband shit, that had me off the cuff so many times. I was like, oh, hell nah. Nah, hell no. So to this day, because of what's been going on in the past 3 years of society, I've said too many male friends, not happening. Work husband, not happening. If she got a friend with benefits, not happening. If her exes are her friends, not happening. These are all like guaranteed strikeouts. I'm not giving you another chance. No, because that's going to end bad for me. Because she got all these men hovering, waiting on their second chance because they fucked up their first chance. I'm not doing that. I'm not about to be added to the roster. I'm not about to be added to the rotation. If I'm not the last one, I don't want to be the next one. You feel me? But when you reach that level of mentality, now you're looking for quality over quantity. And when you're looking for quality over quantity, you're not going to want to be one of a certain number. You're going to want to be the only one. When you're looking at quantity, you don't care how many dudes hit that because you just want to hit it once or twice and move on. But if you're looking for the last one, you don't want to be hitting something that somebody else is hitting too. Don't nobody buy a car and then share it with the world. You don't how many people do you let everybody in your neighborhood drive your car? No, you might let them get a ride in that bitch every now and again when you take them somewhere, but you don't let everybody drive your car. Same way, you don't really let everybody really socialize with your female like that. You're not letting everybody tap that neither. Women wouldn't want men to have so many other female partners in the rotation waiting on their second shot neither. So uniformly speaking, he's not supposed to have a bunch of jump offs around him. She's not supposed to have a bunch of jump offs around her. Y'all are supposed to be exclusive together, two against the world. If it's not that situation, y'all got a terrible relationship. I don't care if it's swingers or otherwise. It's a terrible relationship because while y'all are getting along and he's allowing stuff to happen, fact is the person who's not happy in that relationship is going to be the man. Because a woman doesn't have a problem with her having multiple partners in a relationship because she's the one with extra variety. But she's not going to be secure with a bunch of other women in her relationship where he is the only one with extra variety. So since that's the way things are, from a selfish dynamic, we have to make sure that we do not set a par that we're not willing to meet. Point blank, period. Do not create an atmosphere that we don't want to function in. A lot of us subconsciously want chaotic relationships just to experience a chaotic relationship. And then when we're experiencing a chaotic relationship, we don't like what we got ourselves into. You just got to cut that shit out. I would prefer boring, vanilla, stable than exciting, adventurous chaos. Just being honest with you. Like, I can't think of a TV show, sitcom, or a movie that is just up and boring. Matter of fact, I can. Big Bang Theory. Probably the most boring relationship next to Seinfeld. That there was nothing other than, because when you think about Friends, there was too much chaos there. When you think about White Girls, there was too much drama there. There was too much chaos there. When you think about like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, there's too much chaos there. It's too much. I'm looking for stable, boring, vanilla, plain, because that's how we deal with longevity. Usman said, a question men should ask themselves before marriage: could I be the rebound or a revenge-based incentive? Holy shit. That is a good ass question. You should be asking that before the second date, because if you're asking yourself that before marriage, is she marrying you to get back at somebody else? Because they actually go that far. They will marry you and have children with you to make somebody else miserable. That is some crazy stuff, but that is a damn good question. More often than not, you're a rebound. What constitutes a rebound? If it's within the last 6 months, you're a rebound. You are a rebound. If it was 2 years ago, you're not a rebound. But within the last 6 months, you're a rebound. If she just broke up with somebody a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, you're a rebound. The reason why I say 6 months is because a woman could go 6 months without getting laid. Usually they detach themselves from their last relationship by sleeping with a bunch of men. Not healthy, increases the body count, ruins the value of the woman. But that's typically what everybody does. Men do that and women do that too. They emotionally detach themselves from the last person they were in a relationship with by having meaningless sex with 2, 3, 5, 7 other people. And now that they are emotionally dead inside, now they're going to hover around their work life until they've come across another person that they are emotionally interested in. I don't know why this happens. I can't come up with a logical explanation for it, but that process, if she is fresh out of a relationship and she hasn't had that rebound yet, she ain't got over him. And you know when you're dealing with rebound, you know when you're dealing with a rebound, because the first thing she does is mentions her ex. She compares you to her ex in some way, shape, or form. Mentions the ex. That's a rebound. Usman says 6 months. Modern women will be moving on way sooner. No, they're not. Modern women will have affairs. Okay, so here, let's understand this, Usman. Let's understand this real quick. She was emotionally detached from the relationship probably 3 to 6 months before she broke up with you. From the relationship. She still wants you, but what she wants to do right now is make you hurt as bad as she hurts. So she's going to make you miserable for 6 months. That doesn't work. She's going to break up with you. She's going to hover around your life, listening to you cry and beg for her to come back for about 3 to 6 months. During that time, she's sleeping with other people. During that time, you're the rebound that she's sleeping with. When she is no longer willing to entertain communication with her ex, she's already bounced off of 5 or 6 other guys. And now she is in a committed relationship with a new person. That new person is past the rebound phase. Women remove themselves from the relationship before they remove themselves from the relationship. She's already looking at the next guy before she leaves the last guy. So the question is, how long ago did your last relationship end? If it's less than 6 months ago, you haven't had the opportunity to rebound off of that guy, which means I'm your rebound. You're going to compare me and my decision-making skills to him, which means you haven't gotten over him. If you are comparing me to somebody else, you're not over whoever you're comparing me to, because that is the standard of man that you want. That's why you're comparing me to him. That's why I'm like, nah. Usman says, my bad. My last comment was based on the premise the guy broke up with her. No, from the premise that a guy breaks up with her, she's going to spend a lot more time moving on. If you break up with her, she wasn't done with you. What makes you think she, being dropped like a box of rocks, is going to let you leave 6 months down the line? She trying to get you back. She feel like you made the bad choice because she's a prize. So she's showing up on your job. She's still following your social media. She's going to make your new relationship with your new girl miserable so that she breaks up with you, so that you're still available, so that your last girl can get back with you. She popping up in places that she normally wouldn't show up at, watching you do stuff that she normally would hate to go do with you when y'all was together. No. When you break up with a female, she ain't done with you, bro. She ain't done with. When she break up with you, she's done with you. But it's still gonna take her 6 months. But in that time frame, she crying all over the place and she woe is me and whoop. And then as soon as you ask her that question, how long ago was your last relationship? There she goes. She bursting into tears. She's talking about the last relationship. Dude left out of the blue. She didn't do nothing wrong. That's when you know she traumatized and she got unpacked baggage that she's bringing into this new relationship. And you're going to be the rebound, because since she never got that revenge off of her chest, guess who she's taking all of that misery out on? The next man. She would have been in a bad rebound relationship between her last long relationship and her next long relationship. But she would not have unloaded that baggage on you if she unloaded her baggage on the last guy. Don't mean that she's not coming to you with baggage, because however he retaliates to her unloading, that's new baggage that she's bringing into your relationship. That's why I told you she ain't been single for like 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. She ain't got over that shit. When she finally let go of the past, because she's not talking about her exes. She's not talking about past relationships. She don't even really feel comfortable about talking about her past, because she wants her past to stay in her past. She wants to focus on her present and her future. That's usually when you know that they really want to move forward. They don't want to dwell on the past. And likewise, but you're also have to understand that all women are going to be defensive about their body count, because they know that once they reach host status, it's just like reaching Super Saiyan God mode. You fuck too many people, and there's no way to go back. You can't go back to Super Saiyan 1. You can't go back to Kaioken level. Once you reach Super 7 God mode, that's what you're going to switch to every time you get started. So once they've got their body count too high, as soon as we start talking about body counts, they're not going to really want to talk about that. But when you start talking about past relationships, they're not going to really want to get into the past ones. They're going to understand that the past was a past, and some of them were bad and some of them were not that bad. And they believe that they learned some stuff from their past relationships, and they're going to hopefully get into a better relationship going forward. That's when you know that you got somebody that's focusing on the future. Now you just got to pick their brain and find out exactly what kind of future they're interested in and how you fit into that expectation. But if you find the right person, then that person should be able to work with your agenda. If you find a woman that's been dumped by a dude, she fucked up royally, because 10 to 30 men leave their 10 or 30% of men leave their woman. So whatever she did that really made him not like her, whether it was her cheating or her poor decision-making skills, that's the reason why the man left, because the way she treated him is why he left. If she learned from that, she should not treat you the same way. But if she left him, no learning process happened there. No learning process happened there, because she feels like he was at fault, so she didn't improve. If he left her, she's going to wonder what she did wrong. And hopefully, if she figured that out, she should have tried to make some changes. Now, no two men are the same. So again, she's going to have to do a census, find out what you like and don't like, and see if she can adapt to that, see if she can meet your expectations. But if she does, you got you a keeper. But you're not going to, if she just broke up with somebody 30 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago, bro, too soon. You're about to get yourself into a rocky relationship. The sex will be great, but she's going to be having unexplainable arguments with you that is going to be based on triggers where her last boyfriend did that and it didn't end well, and that's why she's flipping out on you. She's going to apologize some of the times and not even going to give you an explanation other times. But the reason why you ain't did nothing wrong is she twirling right now. That's because she's having flashbacks of her last relationship. Now, you can work her through this and try to reassure her that you're not the last man and you're not going to give her the outcome that she experienced before. But do you really have to do that? Do you really have to put yourself through that? It's like, look, I am who I am. I accepted you as you are. Airbag all blown out and everything. I'm expecting you to accept me as I am. And that's going to mean that you're going to have to trust that I'm not going to fuck you over. Even if you've been fucked over a lot in your past, you're going to have to trust that I'm not going to fuck you over. If you can't trust me that I'm not going to do dirty by you, then you and I are not going to be able to exist together, because I'm not going to walk on eggshells to prove to you that I'm not going to do anything wrong. I'm just not going to do anything wrong, whether you're here or not. So you're either going to be here and enjoy that, or you're not going to be here and I'm going to enjoy that, because I'm not going to deal with chaos one way or the other. That's one of the things these people don't think about. The men these days, they're trying to prove to the women that they're loyal. GPS trackers on the phones, spontaneous pop-ups, social media, this, that, and the third. All of this crap that's happening right now, like the women are stalking their boyfriends to make sure that the boyfriends are loyal. But the men are not allowed to do the same thing to the women. It is unconscionable. If you're not making sure that he's safe, that he's not externally bleeding, that he ain't getting his ass whooped by a bunch of folks, you shouldn't be tracking your man. Because if he is going to be the right man for you, you should know where he's at, because he should have told you before he left where the fuck he was planning on going for the day. If his plans deviate outside of his original plan that he gave you, he should be able to check in and tell you what deviated about the plan and why, if he got time to do it. If he don't got time to do it, he could tell you about it after the fact, call you up and be like, hey, I'm coming from such and such place. Well, I thought you was at such and such a place. Yeah, so-and-so had me do X, Y, and Z, and I ended up at such and such place after I left from where I told you I was, and now I'm on my way back from where I ended up, and I'm coming back to you. Likewise, though, ladies, flip the script. You should be able to do the exact same thing for your man. You shouldn't need no GPS tracker. You benefit more from having a GPS tracker on you because you don't know where you're at. You don't know the street sign. You don't know what's going on, but you need somebody to come get you right now. If he can track your phone, he can come and get you. All you have to do is say, baby, come get me, leave the phone on, and he'll come. But if he don't know where you at, now he got to get like a general census of the area. If he's not tracking the car, you know what I'm saying? And the longer it takes for him to find you, the more you're still in shit, which is not good for you. But you're not about to Glock tight and go out there and go back up your man. He's supposed to be able to protect you and protect himself. So why are you tracking him? He can't track you to protect you. You're not trying to protect him. So why are you tracking him? This shit needs to stop. If you don't trust him, you need to stay single until you can trust yourself. And then when you trust yourself, then you can trust him to do whatever you would do if you was in that situation. So if you're not going to cheat on him, don't expect him to cheat on you. If you are not going to be deceitful, don't expect him to be deceitful. If you are not an honest woman, expect him not to be an honest man, because you are the company that you keep. You will attract the same type of behavior that you project, which is the whole reason why you can find fault in somebody else, because you have those same faults in yourself. You just have to learn how to work through it. They work around it, but you have to work through it, because you can't accuse somebody of a flaw that you're not willing to change, but you're going to expect them to change. That's unconscionable. All right, let's go ahead and touch base on the other one. Make sure y'all like and subscribe while y'all popping it. Oh, hold on a second. Hit that button 3 times.
I'm not my boyfriend's. For the first time, I'm not the type of the guy I'm dating, and it's killing my confidence. I'm a mixed race brunette, and I've always exclusively attracted the types of guys who like something different. The word I hear almost every day is exotic.
I see you, man. I'm going to get to that in just a second.
It's clear that whatever I look like isn't like everyone else. I'm kind of a mix of all the races in one. Guys who chase me never liked the blondes with blue eyes. They always said that bored them. Now meet my boyfriend. In the 1.5 years we've been dating, it's clear through our early stages of convo plus moments he points out someone attractive that they are nothing like me. I have historically been attracted to the all-American blonde with blue eyes, he has said. For some reason, every single girl he's ever dated, including me, has never fit that description. They're all Caucasian unlike me, but they're brunette with dark eyes like me. And yet every time we are watching something and he points out someone attractive to him, they never look like me or any of his exes. Now I find myself extremely self-conscious that I look nothing like what he's innately attracted to. I'm just sad because I think every girl wants to be their guy's dream girl, and I'm clearly not his. I can't help but wonder, why would he go after me then if I'm not his type? It almost feels cruel. Guys, I'm curious to hear honest thoughts. Have you ever dated outside your strict type? And why? Can you really be attracted outside your type?
Yes, you can. Before I answer that question, I want to jump on what Matt said. Matt said nothing about his situation will be defendable, period. He can't expect safety when he was warned of the safety concerns in the beginning. Nobody told Donald to ruin his life. At the end of the day, Matt, you are so right. Special shout out to Matt, first time tonight jumping onto the show. That you are definitely right, Matt. If you know what you're getting yourself into, because you see all the signs, you paying attention, you to come to the podcast, you listen to me tell you guys about all the things we should be avoiding in life, which is why we don't talk about how men or women are the initial problem. We talk about poor decision making and how we need to pay attention and make better decisions. Oh, good question, Usman. I'm gonna get on that too. The thing is that if you knew what you were going into and you made that bad choice, that's gonna be a hard set scenario that you just have to crush in a future relationship. Like you could choose the wrong girl knowing that it's the wrong girl, but because she's putting out, you're going to stick with it until it fails. It's going to fail, but when you knew it was going to fail, you should not be sitting up here upset about it failing while it's failing. You should just go ahead and accept the fact that the shit ain't working out. But at the same time, just like when Donald Trump messed up his life, he didn't mess up his life that bad because he's a billionaire and he's not divorced. He spent $135,000 on a woman outside of his marriage and he's still married. So whether or not his personal life is all that peaceful, whether or not his wife even wants him to touch her, well, you got to understand that he's in his late 70s. Does it even work anymore? Don't even matter. The fact is that, like I told you, long-term marriages, they last forever because they don't leave each other when they do stupid stuff. According to Usman's question, Usman says, can't men have more than one type? No, we don't really have more than one type. We kind of have an idea of what we would like to have. But the thing is that when we're talking about a type, we're talking about a type visually. What we want, the type of woman that we want that meets our criteria is a one that's going to support our ability to be successful. That's the one that we really want. That's the one that all men really want. What that type of woman looks like differs. So you have some men that like blonde hair and blue eyes. I mean, I could go for some blue eyes or some hazel eyes. I don't really care what color hair they are, but a natural blonde is hard to find. You can find a bleach blonde easy. You can find a bleach blonde with hazel contacts or blue contacts, but the natural blonde, blue eyes, that is not a traditionally natural hair color these days, at least not in Western culture. You're going to find hazel. You're going to find dark brown eyes. You're going to find dirty blonde hair, or you're going to find brown hair, brunettes, black haired individuals, coal black eyes, but you're not going to really find that many blue eye and blonde haired individuals. Now, when you start dealing with skin complexions, you have different complexions all over the place. Facial features, high cheekbones, strong jaw lines, small foreheads. You're going to tiny ears. You're going to have all kinds of arbitrary characteristics. But typically, a man is actually going to like probably a girl's height, how big her boobs are, how big her butt is, how thick her thighs are. That's pretty. How big her stomach might be. You're probably running out of characteristics that a man actually focuses on. A man is not really going to, whether or not her long hair is natural or not is going to be a concern for him. Whether or not he cares if she has hair on her head or not. Most men don't want a woman to have facial hair. That's pretty much the biggest issue that a man would have. If she's got a mustache and a goatee, he's going to be like, nah, that's okay. I can't talk to her. But like, really, Usman, do you really have more than one type of woman? Because I really believe that we just have a range. Our ideal woman could be Coke bottle figure, D cup, nice hips, nice thighs. Notice, like, I'm not even giving you specific numbers in that area, but also be willing to accept a petite woman with very little hip, very small, but with a C cup or a B cup. And not complain. It's like a range. But if it's a range, it's not a type. It's like a range. We might be okay with the full figure woman that's about our size. Some men might be okay with a woman that's the same size as him or smaller. Some men are okay with women that are way larger than them. But the men that are okay with the woman that is his size or smaller, if you wear a size 34 pants, she can wear a size 34 pants. She could put your pants on and you're fine with her shape. But if she can't fit your pants, she starts being a little bit too big for you. Now, that don't mean that big girls aren't beautiful. It just means that your particular range stops at a certain size. And after that size, you are not attracted to that woman. You might sleep with her, but you can't see yourself being in a relationship with her on a regular basis. Because our sexual desires so when you say two types, we would have more than one type. We would have the type of woman that we would sleep with and the type of woman that we would spend the rest of our life with. The type of woman that we sleep with, we have no standards for. She has a pulse and she's over the legal age, hopefully. That's our type when we're talking about the kind of woman we would sleep with. When it comes down to the type of woman that we're willing to spend the rest of our life with, there's way stricter requirements. So from the type of woman we would spend the rest of our life with, we're back to that range, to the type of woman we will sleep with. Our expectations for a wife versus the expectations for an affair, that range is where the woman needs to fit. Now, when we first meet them, all women are the type of woman that we would sleep with. That's why we're going out on a date with them. The woman that we keep going out on a date with is the one that we're hoping becomes the type of woman that we can spend the rest of our life with. You ask me, Google, what? Sikh London lady with beard. She can't find a partner because of it. Shave. Fuck. Shave. Fuck you mean? She can't find a partner. You telling me I'm gonna do this for you, Usman, because you told me to go ahead and take a look at this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this for you. You said skinny lady with beard. You want me to ask the Google lady about this. So hold on, y'all. He wants me to go ahead and find this person with a beard. So you said, let's see. Let's see if we can find that. I'm gonna take a look at this real quick. Oh, this is real. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. Oh no. What? Hold on. I'm coming. Let me click the button now and hit the screen share. What the hell? All right. Okay, so this is what I told y'all before. When I told y'all that you can Google just about anybody and all their photos will pop up if you put their name in there. In this particular situation, we're putting a description of somebody in there and it's showing what's going on here. Now, I just want y'all to look at this. We've got she got mustache and a goatee over here on the TikTok video. Like that's Photoshop. But you've got like a genuine like female with facial hair. This is a thing. And all right, that's getting away from the point. So let's go back to this. Okay. And this is opening a new tab. Look at this right here. World record for beard woman Harnan Carr. Wow. So my point here, she's having a problem with finding a dude. That's because she ain't shaving. That's why she having a problem with finding a dude. Do you see? Let me see if I can zoom in on that. If I can zoom in on that for y'all. Can you see this right here? I want y'all to understand. Because y'all got fake eyelashes glued to y'all scalp. Y'all got fake hair glued to y'all scalp. Y'all got people that shave their eyebrows off, wax them off, and then tattoo eyebrows onto your scalp in order for her to have a what was that? The American Hulk beard, to have that Hulk Hogan beard, to have that Macho Man Randy Savage beard, to have that to have that Paul Bunyan chopping down the apple tree beard. You know what I'm saying? To really have that much. She got more hair on her face than some middle-aged men have on the top of their head. You don't shave. Now, clearly that's going to be related to a high level of testosterone. And I mean, there isn't really much of a way to fix that besides LASIK surgery to remove the hair follicles out of the facial structure, which I have found out after talking to a lot of people in Asia. A lot of the fans that I have that are in Asia, they get LASIK surgery on a regular basis, which is how they are able to keep their smooth facial features without having to have the stubble from the shave, the 5 o'clock shadows or whatever. They actually have laser hair removal surgery off of their face to keep their skin excessively smooth. You have women in the Philippines that will sit there with a straight razor and spend all afternoon shaving their man's face to keep their man baby butt smooth, and because they don't want to have a man with scruff. Men do not want to have a woman with scruff. If she would have had the mustache, she would have been lost. But she got the mustache and the goatee. I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. She gonna have a hard time finding a man because she don't want to shave. She don't want to wax that. You got some women that will wax downstairs, but she's not waxing her face. That make no sense. And really, the goatee, while this is clearly a woman, this goatee gives off the I'm a man vibe in a society where men pay to look like a woman and they can't get rid of their masculine features like facial hair. So this is going to be a red flag for some dudes. And she'll have a hard time finding a heterosexual man to date her unless she's going to shave it all off, wax it, and then spend whatever allowance money that she has. Get us the screen share. But she would have to shave it off. She would have to wax it off. And then after she finished doing that, she would have to take her allowance money out of her relationship and pay for the upkeep to keep that shit off. Now, honestly, they got a lot of women in America in the Western culture that also has facial hair problems, unibrows and other such, little thin mustaches, a little bit of a soul patch up under here. And they go to the salon on a regular basis and they wax that shit off. They wax that shit off. So there is a way for you to maintain that where you can maintain your feminine features, but not a lot of women are putting forth the effort to get that shit done. And that's one of the reasons why you have a whole Santa Claus looking goatee. But that wasn't my type to begin with, because when I seen the full, that she had more, it looked like she wouldn't be able to fit into my pants. It looked like her stomach would have been hanging over my belt buckle, and that to me would have been too large of a person for my type, my range. So I thought when you had put it up there that it was supposed to be a skinny London lady. That ain't no skinny London lady with a beard. That she's a middleweight. Somebody would like her, but yeah, this. If you want better, you got to do better, and if you want more, you got to strive for more by making positive changes in yourself and aiming for the stuff that you want to have by making better decisions. So instead of growing a full-on beard and getting into the Guinness Book of Records for having the biggest facial hair situation as a female, she should have been putting forth extra effort to keep that shit cut. Then she wouldn't have that problem. Because you could use Black Magic, which is a no-shave hair removal solution where you rub it on your face like aftershave, leave it up there for 2 to 3 minutes, and before it starts to sting, you wipe it off with a damp towel and take all the facial hair off of your face, and you don't even need a razor. And if you do that a couple times a week, you have a clean-shaven face with no razor bumps. You have no hair left on your face, and you can just get rid. And that's for men. So if she put that on, she would clearly be able to get all the rest of the stuff off of her face. But I am going to tell you that with those puffy cheeks, that underneath that goatee is going to be a rounded neckline, which lets you know that the rest of her is not going to be hourglass figure. There are some characteristics of a longer neckline and longer puffier cheeks that emphasizes that when you look at that photo, that there's going to be a more stocky person below that neck photo, below that head photo. So you can look at some photos and you can see, is the product called exactly Black Magic? It is exactly called Black Magic. Matter of fact, since we're asking a Google lady, I can show you what Black Magic looks like. I don't know where to. I know that Black Magic can be bought at local grocery stores. It can be bought online. Let's see. Oh, it's MAGIC. Look, I'm spelling it wrong. It's a face cream or face mask. Where is it? It is. Nope. Black Magic. No shave. There it is. All right, let me throw this back up there for you. Let me see if it's. So let me show you this right here. And this is a whole line. Apparently at Amazon, you can get this. This is a different version of it, but it's Black Magic is what it was called, and it's a no shave cream. And what you do is you rub it on your face, and they probably took the black off of it because of all of the affirmative action laws that they're doing right now with getting rid of racially named stuff. We got rid of Uncle Ben's rice, Aunt Jemima syrup. And they probably got rid of Black Magic off of the magic bottle, but it was called Black Magic when I was growing up, and it was called Black Magic up until about 5 years ago. And that's kind of what the bottle looks like, but it's a no shave cream where you rub it on your face and you leave it up there for a couple minutes. You take you a damp towel, you wipe it off, and make sure that you wipe it off clean. But it'll remove all of the hair off of your face. And then all you got to do is just take a little bit of water and dab it on your face and moisturize your skin, or use like tea tree oil or something like that to put a little bit of moisture on your skin after that, because it can dry your skin out, and it will clear your skin right up, and you will have no facial hair at all. You have a baby face and no issues. And for some reason, like people who are struggling, like if you get razor bumps, like if you use portable razors or those disposable razors, and when you shave with those, you end up with the razor bumps because the metal flake gets into your skin and your skin gets irritated. For those sensitive skinned individuals, really it's not sensitive skin, it's really that your pores are open and the metal flake goes into your open pores, and then it irritates the skin and infects the skin, and it causes those razor bumps. And also when you don't cut the hair cleanly, the hair kind of curls back into the skin, and then you have an ingrown hair, and that leads to an infection because it tries to push the hair back out, and that also leads to razor bumps. And all of that leads to the bumpy skin. And if you don't take good care of those razor bumps, you end up with scars on your cheeks for the from where you're shaving and dealing with the bruised skin from the razor bumps. So to eliminate all of that, yeah, you can use some Black Magic. But you got to see like how well, you're welcome. You got to see how well your skin tolerates it, because it is a chemical shaving cream, and some skins are not effective with it. Now, start with the mild version for those of you who are not risk takers. But if you're a man that wants results, go get the maximum strength one and just leave it on for less time. See how long it takes for it to come off. If it all doesn't come off the first time around, wait 20 minutes, put it back on your face and leave it on there just to get what little bit left that you missed, and you will get the whole thing off. You don't have to use a lot, like 2 or 3 fingers worth. Just like dab it and smear it on the same way you smear on shaving cream. It is the difference between shaving cream and this cream is that a lot of foam in shaving cream allows you not to have the skin irritation from shaving cream. You want this to smear all over your skin like a face mask. So a thin layer is enough. You don't need a big clumpy whatever. A thin layer is enough. As long as you have the white cream going across the top of your face where your skin is completely covered, you leave it up there for less than 3 minutes usually. But if you want to leave it on a little bit longer to make sure that you get it off, 5 minutes is the most I would leave it on for. You start feeling it to burn, that's when you need to take it off. If you want to put it on your face and wander around the house and watch TV and hang out and stuff like that, I would tell you, get yourself a giant face towel, wet the giant face towel, because it's going to take the whole face towel to wipe it off. And if instead of running to the bathroom to try to clean your face and rinse it all off and stuff, you just wet a giant face towel, like a pretty decent size, like a 12-inch face towel, not a hand towel, like a face towel. Or just take a drying towel and wet like a third of the drying towel, and then wipe off your face once you start feeling it to burn. And then once you do that, then you can go ahead and take the other half of the drying towel, dry your face, and you're done. You can literally use this material while you're watching a commercial for the football game. And by the time the commercial's done, you're able to tackle this and you're good to go. You could have put that on like 10 minutes at the beginning of this podcast and your face would have been baby face by the time the podcast was over, and you don't need razors. For those people with long, thick hair, you're going to find, I'm going to tell you, because I've used it before, you're going to find with long, thick, especially if you got coarse hair like mine, you're going to find that it doesn't get 100% of those thicker hairs off. So you may have to either go back over it again with the Black Magic or just take you a pair of clippers, because I don't like using razors. If you don't have a straight razor, take you a pair of clippers and just kind of get that little spot there and make sure that it's all gone. And then the next time that you go back and use it, if you use it regularly, it'll get everything the second time. But that's my recommendation for you guys for today, as far as keeping yourself babyface smooth. It helps you with job interviews. It helps you with those businesses that requires you to be clean shaven for the job, and it helps you with looking sharp for the ladies. Now, ladies, y'all can use this product too. So if you've got too much facial hair, use this Black Magic. I tell you what, it'll clean it right on up. It'll clean it right on up. So, so there ain't no excuse. You can't tell me, oh, I can't find a man because I got a bigger mustache than he do. That's your choice. You chose to rock the mustache, because you ain't no man saying that I can't find a woman because my hair too long. You know what I mean? Ain't no man talking about something I can't find a woman because I'm not buff enough. If a man realizes that the women that he is attracted to wants a man that's got a better physique, that man gonna get a goddamn gym membership, get him a personal trainer, start working the fuck out. So, I mean, if you want a man that wants a certain type of woman, in order for you to be that type of woman, you need to start making some conscious choices in your life. Whether you need to start doing something that you wasn't doing or stop doing something that you was doing, the closest you can meet his expectations, that's what you need to aim for. The same way women want a man to meet her expectations, she needs to have the mentality that if he meets my expectations, I will meet his. Then you both will be happy. If that's not a mutual understanding between the two of y'all, you're going to be the only one happy. He's going to be miserable, and the relationship is going to be rocky because y'all are going to have unnecessary fights over unnecessary bullshit because one of you is not happy. Nobody knows what's going on because nobody's paying attention because somebody's being left undone and nobody's saying anything. And you're going to blame each other for the argument when the underlying argument is derived from the lack of mutual happiness in a relationship because one of you is being catered to and the other one is not. Because if neither one of you've got anything to complain about, y'all got nothing to argue with. You ain't got no reason to sandbag shit if you're satisfied. You got no reason to throw nothing up in his face if you're satisfied. You got no reason to embarrass your man. You're proud of him. So if you're not bragging about how awesome he is, you're not satisfied. But if you were satisfied, you wouldn't be doing all that. So that's all I got for you guys for tonight. Special shout out to Usman77 for throwing out some awesome insight today. I'm glad that I was able to give you some tips and tricks on how to properly maintain some more effective grooming, because actually you could take that with you when you're traveling, because in your travel bag you can't have sharp objects a lot of the time, and bringing that with you is a good way to keep yourself shaven and not get harassed by TSA on the airport. So that's another thing that you could take that with you for. On this and that, I talk about this, that, and everything in between. So you'll see that we talk about all kinds of stuff. And eventually, if you hang out here long enough, eventually you're going to come across with some information that you can use as soon as you get off the show. and just like with that Black Magic container, I actually showed you guys where you can go to buy it, because you can get it off of Amazon with your Amazon Prime. So I'm going to see you tomorrow, Usman. I really appreciate you coming to the show. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Hang out for the closing outro, Higher Ground. I know a lot of y'all had liked it when y'all were hearing it. It is an awesome inspirational song that was made by alanito.music. It's a live band in Switzerland. So I got to give them a special shout out because they put out a whole album for us that's accessible on YouTube. You can click the link to YouTube to listen to the whole album. And you can also click the link to Amazon for Amazon Prime for you to buy the song and download it so that you can have it when you don't have internet. Like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. Ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, I appreciate you guys standing strong. We about 75% of the podcast. We had a lot more men that dove in over the past 2 days. So make sure that you guys like and subscribe, join the membership, share it with your friends, share it with your family members. I'm going to be running a bunch of shout outs across the country, across the world. as the show closes out. So really appreciate you guys on Twitch and Twitter. Rev Voy, Omni81, Mr. Pibbs, Max Opposer, Reese Martinez, and Joe, his father. I really appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Usman and Satellite for jumping into the show today. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow night at about 10:30 Central Standard Time.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.